gearing up for war, don't get it mixed up. I come in peace, kid. I'm bringing commentary and the new releases. I put them hours in to get prepared now. We play on expert level, don't be scared now. I'ma destroy you when I'm Forza, I can tear down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down. Cut the fix up with some Xbox babies, put the switch up. See me gearing up for war, don't get it mixed up. I come in peace, kid. I'm bringing commentary and the new releases. I put them hours in to get prepared now. We play on expert level, don't be scared now. I'ma destroy you when I'm Forza, I can tear down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down.
Yo, we're live. Welcome everybody. Oh, got a new subscriber, Biggie Butters. Thank you all. I heard a few people subscribe before we started too. Thank you all for being here tonight. Listen, we got a crazy good panel here of like some of the most legendary content creators out here, as you all know. We have Dealer, we have Rand, we have Everborn on his way. He'll be here soon enough. We got Dirt Griggity. Man, it's a crazy packed show. I know people were like, why you got so many of these people on one time? But you know, listen, I figured we had such a monumental we had such a monumentally great showcase. It's like I feel like you have to have a monumentally great cast after the fact to talk about it. And that's what we'll be doing tonight. So shout out to everybody for being here, and I will address you later, but I'll start with Dealer since you're at the top of the list here. Dealer, what have you been up to, brother, and welcome.
What? No, yeah, I've been playing games. There's been games actually released. I don't know if people knew that on Twitter, but there's games out, and Star Wars is great, and you know what? I'm trying to get through. What fucking game is this? Can I say fuck on here?
You can.
What game
you just
is this?
did? So.
Right.
I know, Randall. That was part of the fucking joke. So yeah, I'm trying to get through a few different games. Star Wars is definitely one of them. Right at the end of that one. And there's another one's on the tip of my tongue, but I'll think of it later. Yeah, I'm just glad to be here, Umbra. You're a great guy. You always do great when you come on my show, and I just like it when you sing.
Oh, thank you. You know, what a
don't do it now. Don't do it now.
It's too late.
Oh, okay.
You already wanted
The
to say
Doobie
it.
Brothers.
Yeah. No, man, I'm happy to have you here, brothers. One of the few people I actually like a lot of people in the community. Let me take that back. Sorry.
He's like,
I only like a couple of you guys.
Yeah. Listen,
it's secret though.
I would say yes. Now, Kith, but as far as like content creators go, yourself, Rand, you all have heard me say this before and like butter you up, but no, I really mean it. Dirt, you guys, I love listening to you and your takes on things. You've informed me over the years, so it's good to finally be here and talk and chopping it up with you all. And so, Dirt, what's up, brother? Who am you, sucker?
Who am you, sucker? Hey, man. What's up, man? Hey, I can't believe I'm on the show with these legends, man. What's up?
Man, hey, you a legend.
You've been on a show with all of us before.
I know, man, but you know, I gotta make it sound real good, you know. No, but thank you, man, for the invite. This is incredible, man. It's a great time to be an Xbox fan, and I'm happy to be on here, man. Let's have a little fun, bro.
Absolutely, brother. What you been up to though, as far as like gaming and such? What you been playing?
You know, I've been playing Diablo 4. I never played the franchise before. There were so many people saying, "Yo, this franchise, this game is fire. You got to play it." I say, you know what? Let me buy it, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's actually pretty fun. I like the story. I'm enjoying it. I'm also playing a little Street Fighter 6.
All right.
And one of these days, I'm going to go back to Cyberpunk because I put that game down and never really picked it back up. But it's really started to make me want to go back and put some time in
that new DLC.
Diablo's that other game, by the way. I was thinking of Diablo. Yeah.
Yeah, Diablo is dope. I'm playing as Rogue. What are you playing as anyway, by the way?
Necrophiliac. And the what the fuck? The wizard.
The sorcerer. Okay.
Yeah, sorcerer.
Yeah, I'm a sorcerer too.
Oh, okay, both you sorcerers. All right. Trying to cast your magic on people. But
I got two. I got two classes.
Oh, okay. You started with two. Okay. I'm trying to get to 100 with mine, so I waited off on switching up. But Yeah, so I'm surprised, by the way, Dealer, you got off 2K long enough to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's only because I pretty much I finally caught up with 15 years worth of knowledge, so I'm good to go.
There you go. There you go. And of course, we have the legendary Randolph Thor, my other fellow Chicago in here. What's up, brother? Thank you for coming through.
What's up, Umbra? I'm glad to be here. It's nice day in Chicago. Last couple of days have been really nice. Like 60s, not some hot, not really hot outside. Yeah, great weather.
That's freezing. It's a balmy 96 down here in Texas.
Oh my Lord.
I hope you guys are all standing in front of green screens right now with a little stick.
Feels great. Feels
great.
great.
I'm not wearing any pants.
Yeah.
Oh.
We all naked.
Oh my God.
You didn't know really? That was the mandatory.
Well,
is that normal in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty normal here.
That's what happens whenever someone invites me on a podcast. I'm just fully naked and nobody knows.
We really can't tell though.
Got everything hanging
talk.
out
like
there.
when Rand's doing that, he changes his tone, like he's about to have to run from some cops or something.
That's true.
Hey, Umbra, man, what's going on with the show, man? What's going on? I mean, like, what happened?
Yeah,
what talking about being naked and what's?
Well, I thought I passed the notes on to y'all. I thought y'all were supposed to know about. Danny, did you not tell him about this or?
No, I actually told them to put on extra clothes to try to balance it out.
Okay, I see. Yeah, see. In Chicago, we got a special way of doing things. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, special is a way to put it, huh?
But Rand, what have you been playing, brother? What's currently in your to-do?
Currently, well, just like Griggity and Dealer, I've been playing Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Rocking a Chain Lightning Sorcerer.
Oh man, all three of you sorcerers, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something?
I think in Diablo 3 I played a barbarian, and I wanted a different experience this time.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll pick sorcerer, and my buddy gave me a good lightning build to use, so nice. I'm enjoying it. It's pretty cool. Although I do feel when I get to the end of the campaign, that's it for me. I don't care about getting to World Tier 3 and World Tier 4 and getting to level 100.
You don't like pushing the A button a lot?
No. I mean, it's fun. The game's fun. Like last night, though, I got to a point where I'm just like, I might need to take a little break for a little bit because this moving to one area, doing the same thing, and then moving 5 feet, doing the same exact thing, and then 10 feet, doing the same thing, starting to maybe get a little bit into
a little
repetitiveness.
Yeah.
And the areas don't always even look that much different, right? Just like walking through a large bathroom or basement or something. I don't know.
Well, you start off in a snow area, then you move to a rain area, and now I'm in the desert area. So
yeah, they have different biomes.
They got different biomes. They learned from Halo Infinite that you need different looks.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's actually a gigantic map though, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
But I will agree with you though. Like some of the dungeons are kind of samey. Like design wise they are. But in it, I can get the repetitive thought too. It is repetitive after a minute. But no, I feel you on that. I mean, it's if you're gonna really play that and get to World Tier 4, which I got to earlier, by the way. Don't want to toot my horn, but you have to put in tons of hours, man. I mean, I would say 100 at the least. You got to put in 100 hours to get most everything done, and that's just being generous.
There's other games I want to play, like Final Fantasy 16 next week. So I got Street Fighter 6.
Gotcha.
Hey man, Dirt, I bought a PlayStation and I haven't turned it on this year. I'm turning it on, bro. Okay, I need to play. I need to at least turn it on
out
one
those
time.
dust holes first.
Yeah, probably. May not work.
I haven't touched my PlayStation since last year with God of War.
Yeah,
I think I'm in the same boat.
Spider-Man comes out. I cut on Spider-Man 2 comes out.
Oh yeah, same.
And the best thing is I didn't even have to pay for Final Fantasy 16 Game Share.
Oh, nice.
I just wish the Xbox had dust holes to vacuum.
Yeah.
People don't know there's actual dust ports you could for vacuuming in the PS5.
I didn't.
It's that big.
Probably do that.
Yep. So, and of course, my co-host Daniel McGee. Daniel,
what's up?
What's up, man? What you been?
Honestly, I haven't been doing a ton of gaming. Unfortunately, I've been trying to finish out Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm having very mixed emotions with. Where it's like,
don't tell me you like parts of it are very doo-doo now, like you were talking about.
No.
Okay.
No, that would not be the ballpark. I think what I'm coming around to is like it's not as terrible as I thought it would be, and I think maybe that's like Stockholm syndrome or something. It's still pretty nothing, I think, is where I'm landing. Like it very much feels like if this game had been made 15 years ago, it would have been a lot more exciting to me than it is now. Because now I'm playing this and watching the Starfield Direct at the same time and being like, boy, howdy, these look like they came from different dimensions.
Yeah. After seeing Starfield, and by the way, shout out to Oh No, It's Alex. He featured me. If you all don't know, he featured me in one of his little videos, and he's like,
"Is that a humble brag?"
Oh no, it's
one of his little videos.
Yeah. Whenever we say
little baby video.
Whenever we say little, it's not positive. It's a little video of his. But he featured me in it, man. He had a dry week that week. I told him that too. But and he put me on there, and I was praising Zelda. I said, listen, Starfield has some crazy competition this year. Seeing these scores from Zelda, I'm like, wow, look at these scores. And he's like, you think? Dumbass, whatever. I'm like, why are you acting like Starfield won't be a game of the generation? Like, where did this thought come from now that because they were Xbox suddenly tied?
You said it all right there. Games. Acting keyword.
Yeah. So,
but no, other than that, all I've been doing is went to go see Across the Spider-Verse. Real good.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Fan.
It was good.
Great movie.
It's really good. I can't wait for them to finish it. That was my one big complaint. Is I've never seen a movie drop in early access before, but that is what it feels like.
The Matrix Reloaded.
It's like a 10 out of 10 movie, but then it just does not end. It simply stops, which is wild.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. Yeah. That caught me off guard.
Me too. I was like, what the hell?
The last movie that did it was The Matrix Reloaded that I can remember going to the theater and seeing, and it's like, to be continued, fuck off for 2 years.
Yeah, at least this one's only 1 year, unless it gets delayed, which
it's a long time.
Yeah,
and then one for Rand, I started reading those R.A. Salvatore novels I've been putting off for like a year.
Some books.
Yeah, I've been getting into those.
Don't you both start a book club
and all that nonsense?
You getting into the Dark Elf trilogy and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I've very specifically been wanting to get into some of the sort of nerd homework books, as it were, where it's like, I've never read any of the Dark Tower. I've never read I'm sorry.
No Dark Tower? Oh my
I've
lord!
never read any of the Dark Tower. My book taste was very much the things I read from like the YA section when I was in high school.
YA? We're gonna say you read some Twilight. You gotta be careful though, because we might be putting dealer to sleep here. We might
I love Twilight. What are you talking about?
I did unironically read like 3 of the Twilight books trying to impress a girl. Didn't work out.
Lord.
She said, "You read Twilight? Get out of here!"
Put on like
zip down your pants
on himself and walked up to her like, "Hey,
you know what?
Don't get Rand started on the shit. He gets real raunchy with it, man.
Look, man, sometimes we do dumb things for dumb reasons.
Listen, I didn't know you all were reading romance novels like
listen,
I
bitch,
encourage y'all to continue y'all book club, Rand and Daniel. Y'all do your thing.
Look, even Umbra's like, we're moving on. I ain't talking no more about books in my show. You can see the numbers
the wrong books. That's
going
why.
Down.
Reading. That's for nerds. No, I'm joking. No, I do. I do want to read that. What's that book you always talk about, Rand, that you get your name from?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. I do want to read it just to see, because I heard the show was trash.
Yeah, the show wasn't very good. Yeah. Show was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I got to check it out one
day. I feel like most of the time they adapt a book to something, it's just a catastrophic fuck up.
Yeah. Some of it.
Like the one exception would be like the early seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, Game of Thrones. Harry Potter too. You can kind of give it to that, right? Some that stand out. But anyway, before we go into the book club of the month talk for too long, so we're expecting Everborn, the conspiracy theory man himself, to join us as well.
What is 18 minutes late? Like, who does he think he is?
Yeah, he gotta make a grand entrance. Yeah, you gotta make his grand entrance.
He'll come in here and his first word's gonna be like, "Sonic, here we go, baby." You might as well shut that down.
Gotta go faster. I don't know what he might say, but yeah.
I think it did show him in a major way, so I imagine he's feeling some kind of way.
Yeah,
you know he is.
Let me switch over to the showcase. I'll play this while we talk about it. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely.
All right. So, yeah, fellas. So, I believe I can kind of speak for the entire panel when I say this was one of the best, and I think for the audience too, this is one of the best Xbox showcases they've ever had. I put it in the top 3 of all time, personally.
Can't speak for me on that one.
I'm speaking for you too.
No.
So, Danny, I want to let Danny address this, because Danny, I think he set this up pretty nicely. And instead of us kind of going over everything, he wants to address it in a certain way, and I think I'll let him take over from here. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, so I think the way we're going to do this is what they call in the elementary school the sort of round robin way of doing it. is I think we should each pick a highlight game and just sort of go down the line and each talk about what games stood out to us. And I think we'll go around twice unless we run out of time or something. So I'll start just to get us going with the obvious one. I think the most standout game from this show has got to be Starfield, right? That game looks like an absolute generational video game. I don't think there's any other way to split that hair, you know what I mean? Like this looks like if Star Citizen was a real game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
right.
And wasn't a piece of shit. Yeah.
Right. The only way that this could end up disappointing me is if it ends up coming out and it's like a No Man's Sky situation, which God, don't let that happen. But I'm pretty sure that I am far from the only person who thought that this was the absolute best thing shown in this showcase.
Yeah. And anytime you guys want to kind of jump in and chime in, you don't have to wait on any of us to call you. But I guess to start it off, I'll start with Dirt on this one. Dirt, what was your takeaway, man, on Starfield right there? Like, what did you feel seeing that?
I believe, I feel Starfield, what they showed, the 45-minute deep dive, just the reactions pretty much tell you everything that you need to know. Some of the reactions in the community, Xbox in some countries going to the top of the Amazon list, sold out, and Starfield looks incredible, bro. Todd Howard, Bethesda, you know, their games are very popular. First new IP in years, and this game I believe this game is going to move the needle for Xbox. I believe Xbox Game Pass subscriptions will increase. I just think the game looks incredible, man. There's not really much else I can say about it. I've never really been into many Bethesda games in the past, but because one, I'm a bot. Two, they're first party now. I'm going to play the hell out of Starfield.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks good, man. So shout out to those guys for actually giving it 45. I watched State of Plays. I watched, stuff that focus on like Nintendo little directs that focus on one game, and for some reason, this 45 minutes, it was actually pretty good. I'm watching like, wow, man, you could do that in there. You could do that in there. Interesting. I'm glad they fixed the like the young lady eyeballs.
I like that though.
From the initial
out of
trailer.
context, that just sounds so hilarious. I'm glad they fixed the young lady's eyeballs.
The Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady eyeballs.
You didn't like when she looked like she had two glass eyes?
Yeah, no, I look, man, like they gave her eyes are like blue now, so that looks great. No, I'm just trying to be funny, but yeah, it looks great, man. I'm hyped for it, bro.
Yeah, same. Yeah, they did give her a little makeover,
Yeah, they
gave her Kim K makeover. Absolutely. Yeah.
You gotta clean this bitch up.
Yeah. Got her hair laid and everything,
I can see the whole court.
Yeah, got her hair laid
the first
down.
trailer, and they were like, "Did you let her go out like that?"
She even got a tan a little bit. I don't know.
All right, we didn't watch it the first time. Yeah. Let's take the Halo unveil.
She lost a little weight in her face and everything. She looked
good.
good.
Slimmed down. She was working out between with a year delay.
She looked real good.
Yeah, she looked real good, man. And I agree with you. The game looked spectacular, man. I was sitting there just stunned. All of us, we were in a watch party stunned. Like, wow, look at the visuals. I think that's what took me by surprise more than anything. The frame rate looked really smooth, even though I know it's a lock 30. But it's just seeing the visuals. I'm like, damn, this is like a night and day difference from the last time we saw it. I was just really impressed. What about you, Dealer? What were your thoughts on it when you saw it?
No, I thought the visuals had improved because they had, right? Other than that, I guess the only thing that really made me think, okay, this is next gen, is the fact that, hey, if there's a planet in the background, that thing is actually orbiting the planet you're on. You can go to that damn thing and see what's there. Most likely nothing statistically, but you're going to find planets where there are really, really cool things to do potentially there. So that's neat to me that's actually a physical object that's rotating around the thing you're on, and you can go to it and do all those things. And we've seen things like that before in a way with No Man's Sky, let's be honest. But this is No Man's Sky if it was actually what people's wildest imaginations maybe thought it might be, right? Except for they didn't lie about having multiplayer and all that. So, yeah, it looks good. Gameplay wise, obviously, I thought id might have helped them with some of that, but apparently they help mainly with the visuals.
Yeah.
They've gotten a lot better with first-person mechanics as well, just from Fallout 3 to 4, or Skyrim to Fallout 4 even. You know, the aiming and stuff was a lot better. I'm just curious to see how much content is where. You're talking 1,000 planets, you know, or so. So, I mean, they got to put this stuff in the right places. And when you do find it, they're because you know they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to make you feel like, wow, I could have missed that, or I bet you these motherfuckers didn't find that. You know, and it's a cool side quest or something. You know, like that's what I'm looking forward to finding in the game.
No,
there's definitely gonna need to be a little bit more guidance in a game of this size than you would need in like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls, where you can just like stumble into a cave, because you're not gonna stumble into planet 989 out in the middle of the Andromeda galaxy or some nonsense. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Yep. No, but I'm interested in it. And I know a lot of that is, you know, procedurally generated and everything like that. But I think that's just so dope how they're approaching it, man. And like you said too, Danny, like the whole generational things is pretty evident. And that's why I'm like, if anybody doubted this would be game of the year or game of the generation, I think that changed their minds for certain. Just the pure scope of what you can do, the most ambitious. That's why like I got over the whole 30 thing, which we'll get into, but you know, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's 30, and you know, this is not good enough," and you know, and I get it. I get their reasoning, and I get their complaint. But then it's like, man, but like, look at what you're getting out of this. Like, can you really complain with all of that? And the answer is yes, they can. But
yeah, definitely.
Did you see the Giant Bomb interview where they? Absolutely. Did you see the Giant Bomb interview where they sort of discussed the reasoning and everything for why that ended up being the way it was?
Yeah, elaborate.
I think
for
it
us.
paints it in a really interesting light, where Phil Spencer was like, we provide the tool and the machine that they can either choose to really focus in on a deep, highly visual experience, or an extremely wide breadth of like mechanics and features and things like that. And in this case, like Todd Howard said in a different interview, this is the kind of game that really needs a lot of overhead. Like you talked about, they're actively modeling the entire solar system. They're modeling, you know, the different atmospheres and the way the light transfuses through the atmosphere to light different parts of the planet and all these different biomes and all that kind of stuff. Let's
be honest, like it's an older engine with some bolt-ons. You know, it's got some new tech in there.
That too.
It's being built by a fantastic team that's never once been known for burning a box out, right? Like Crytek or someone else who's known for pushing visuals and doing it efficiently, right? Like Turn 10, for example. It's a combination of these things. Like, they're not necessarily the guys that are going to go and hit that, even though they did say it does run at 60. They need that overhead. Why the hell they're going to lock it at 30, I don't know. VRR is that thing. I don't know if they've become aware of that, but I think that you will eventually get a patch for this in time. And we've already heard about games running better without any patch whatsoever, just because of the Series X receiving GDK updates, or, you know, on the developer side, performance is just naturally freed up over time. And they're going to eventually say, hey, you know what? We're going to go for it. Or we're going to reconstruct this a different way. We're going to modify this. We're going to make the CPU side more efficient, because it is mainly a CPU bottleneck. Doesn't matter what resolution you're at. I think you'll see that in time. But right now, 30 FPS lock. And that is on both consoles. 4K 30 on Series X, 1440 on Series S.
Right.
And that's, think about it. Fucking Evil West. It's 1080p on the Series X. Starfield, you just said it yourself, and doing all this crazy shit. 4K, right? Even if you were to run that at double the frame rate, you're talking 1440, 60 right there. It's crazy what they're getting out of Series S on a game like this, where developers are saying the fucking thing's a bottleneck. This is a bigger game than all their games combined.
True. You know,
it's time to use velocity and stuff, you know?
Let me ask you guys, and because I'm not so super technically inclined, but I saw Colt's video on about it, and he was talking about how the global illumination, which you were talking about, Danny, the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first in the kind doing it in something of this scope. And he was kind of alluding to, he think that took a toll on it more than anything. That's probably what prevented it from hitting 60 like that. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts?
Yeah,
I don't,
because I think you're more technically inclined than me. I'm just gonna.
No, it's not the reason. I don't think it is the reason, because again, you got Series S and X. It's a GPU accelerated feature, right? Global illumination. We've seen it in games like Gears of War. We've seen it in games like Metro Exodus. Running on Series S at 60 FPS. We've seen it in a lot of games, but this is doing it on a kind of galactic scale, right? And they're doing that with, I'm sure, all kinds of different performance saving kind of tricks, right? Where you're not seeing it, they're not loading it in, kind of like Jedi. But at the end of the day, like if it's running 4K 30, this is a CPU thing, kind of like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Think of it that way, right? It's got the same issue. You got this fucking planet streaming all this shit in, and if they're using velocity, this will be the first game that I know of that's really, really maxing that out and pushing that true next generation, capability there. Otherwise, on the GPU side, there's no reason this can run at 60, in my opinion. Actually, they said it does run at 60, even though the CPU is being held bottlenecked right now. So, it's not the GI, in my opinion, and I think Series S kind of proves that with 1440p. Yeah. It would be, much lower if it were a GPU issue.
So, Rand, brother, what are your thoughts? What was your thoughts on the Starfield breakdown?
Someone DM'd me and said that they wanted me to let you know that your mic is low.
Yeah, they always tell me that, and I still haven't got this thing correct. I don't listen.
Like, tell Umbra his mic is low, and I'm like, all right, I'll tell him.
This is what I want all of you all in the chat to do: pitch in and throw in $10 a piece, and I'm going to get a new mic and the ROG Ally. I don't know.
He's going to the strip club. Don't believe him.
Yeah,
$10 a piece, man. That's money right there.
$10 a piece. I'll get the new mic and the ROG Ally.
That
has nothing to do. No, that has nothing to do with the money you'll send, of course. But yeah,
right.
So what do I think? Like my thoughts about Starfield was like I was always excited for it, but it was always on the lower end of the scale. Like I was always more looking forward to Jedi Survivor, or Alan Wake 2, and things like that, right? But after seeing this thing, like that's rocketed up to like number 1. Like I was so impressed. It probably was the single best presentation of any game ever. Like a single game, like when you sit down and like look at all the different state of plays or the demos of stuff, like I think this was the best one ever. And the thing that most impressed me, considering how poorly it showed last year, was the combat gameplay. Because last year, the combat gameplay looked awkward. It didn't look right. And it was to the point where it's like, oh man, are people going to be like, where's VATS so I can have the, the computer shoot for me? But this time, my first thought when seeing the gameplay was like, oh my God, did id do something here? Because this looks pretty damn good for a Bethesda game. Yeah. And then like Dealer said, id came out, or Todd Howard came out and said, no, they worked on the graphics side. I think he said they even did a lot of the work on the motion blur for like the shooting and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
I thought it was, I mean, there's a part of me that is like, all right, hold on one second here. Is this too good to be true? Because it seems like the most ambitious game ever. Right? Like all the different things, because not only do you have the main story and the character creation and the procedural generated worlds where there's 1,000, but you have the shipbuilding stuff. Then you have all the stuff inside the ship, and then you got the space combat, and you can dock with ships, and you have the colony building. You have this. There's more to this game than virtually any other game that's even on the market at this point. Right? Like the only bad thing about it is it's locked to 30, which it's like, I'd rather play it at 60 because games play better at 60, and it's like, that's disappointing. But my hype level was, was like, I want to play it now. It's like, I'm buying the controller. I'm gonna get the early access to this thing. Like, don't call me. Like, I will be exploring the universe. Like, it was better than I could possibly like ever had thought. Like because even when the showcase ended after like an hour and 5 minutes, whatever it was, I was like, damn, it's over. I was like, what? They could have showed more. And then it was like
minutes, huh?
It was like 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, well now you know why, because they really feel like they have something here, and it really does finally look like this truly could be, like the game of the generation, or like the biggest thing Xbox has put out since Halo 1 or Halo 3 or whatever it is, right?
Very possible.
No, this don't count for Xbox, but Redfall did.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Don't count. Nothing
Forgot
counts.
about that one.
Yeah. No,
I was the same way though. As soon as that showcase ended, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna need to make a list of all the games that I need to finish this year for content, because the second the Starfield comes out, that's my life. That's my life for the next 6 to 8 months.
100% agreed, man. It's like I saw that and instantly saw the no life happening. Like, yeah, I'm not touching anything else. It's like I do have a few games I do want to play though, so I'm gonna have to try to set something aside. But it's insane how, like, much like you, Rand, I was like, I'm going to play Starfield. I'm hyped for it. I think it'll probably get a Game of the Year, mention. And then I saw this and I was like, okay, this is Game of the Year, Game of the Generation. The stuff we saw that you can do on there. It's like, come on, man. Like, how do you even combat that? Like, people will highlight Zelda and say, well, you can make a dingling robot, if you will. I don't want to say the right.
Well, you know what, Umbra, you can probably make a dingling spaceship too in this game.
Exactly.
There's no probably about it. That's all you're gonna see is dick ships.
Oh.
Especially in Umbra's planet.
I'm trying to keep it PG.
Look at my perfect fleet of dicks.
I try to keep it PG, and
I got big dicks, small
dicks, told us to talk about dick ships.
Dicks.
Sorry, chat. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to do it.
Andromeda Galaxy is
we
angry.
had to
Bring out the Magnum Dong.
Fire.
No, yeah, man, and just seeing all that. They even made a little Optimus Prime ship that you saw fly off. It's insane.
That was Voltron, bro.
I thought it was Voltron too, but like I looked at it more, and you could see the yellow belt. I'm like, okay, that's Optimus.
Oh.
You recognize the belt, don't
Yeah, maybe
right
back to
next to
childhood.
the dick ship.
It made me think
Yeah,
back to
yellow
childhood.
belts,
They go to
yeah.
belt again now,
Heavyweight
but
champion.
anyway. No, seriously, but no, man, I was blown away. Like all of us, it's just like we're sitting there in that watch party. Jedi knows what I'm talking about. Jedi Knight Peter, all of us, we're sitting there oohing and eyeing and just like, wow, look at that. And somebody in the chat said that they downgraded the visuals. There is no way you
What?
think that. No way.
Those were definitely improved.
What ponies?
Block that man right now.
It's one of the few times where the visuals were significantly improved from the last time.
Agreed.
Todd did it.
Yeah.
Todd did it himself 16 times the detail for real this time.
Hey, yo,
That's-
Infinite. What pony said that shit?
Let me see who it was.
It was
Break his
MBG in disguise.
The mulleted one is here.
Yeah, you would know, Dirt, but his name is X Zone 1X DJ. So Zone.
Snap him
DJ.
out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't choose
I've been
it.
seeing him.
No, but like, hey, stick around as long as you give me a like. But
Oh my God.
yeah,
Subscribe too while you're at it.
Yeah,
Hit the like
exactly.
button and subscribe.
yeah. If I don't
Yeah.
see your name
Leave
pop
as
up
many
on the screen,
comments
you're
as you
getting out of
can.
here. No, but like, yeah, he said it was downgraded, but there's no way no one thinks that. But you know, the thing that's sad though, I will admit, like I've been on Twitter, and I'm sure you all have seen it too, where people are like, oh, this is a No Man's Sky clone and all of that. And,
Oh my god, yeah, I see.
yeah, and then they're like,
yeah.
you know, this is not on Xbox and all that, like being selective on giving credit. My thing is just like, as a gamer, like how do you sit there, see something like this, and you're like, let me be negative? I don't know how you can do it.
Jealousy.
I guess that's what it is. I just don't know how you can do it, man. Like I see Spider-Man, I'm like, man, I can't wait to play Spider-Man. It's on
Right?
PlayStation.
Okay.
You didn't go to Twitter and say, what a piece of shit game.
All right.
I was in the same boat. I went to that PlayStation conference and I was like, I expect this to be really good. I'm looking for reasons to turn on my PlayStation. Like, I want those things. Like, I bought this $500 thing and it's been sitting like 2001 Space Odyssey in my living room for 2 years now. And it's like, they just didn't deliver that. And so I wonder if this is just people who are like taking their disappointment from that and shoveling it onto other people. Like, it's the stupidest thing.
It really is, man.
At this point, the best thing about my PS5 was I actually got to meet Gaming Forte in real life because I bought
nice.
it from him. Yeah, that's
Oh.
the best thing about that.
And it's
I
a
got
pretty good
to meet
heater.
him.
Sign it?
No, he didn't sign it. I just
He
went to
didn't
his,
sign
with his GameStop about an hour away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, I'm gonna take that drive just to meet him, and it was a good experience. But you know, I'm just
PS5 bringing people together.
joking. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
man.
Greatness.
Huddling around it because it's putting off some heat in the winter times.
Can I just mention just how much of like, thank God for the delay, because who knows what this game would have looked like or played like on 11/11/22, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because like it from last year to this year, it looks significantly better. Like all that extra time that they had, and that's where it's like what Umbra was talking about. Like people saying, "No, you can't give credit to Xbox. They didn't make this." It's like, okay, they helped, but that's the thing. It's like if it wasn't for Xbox, that game would have been out maybe even in as early as 2021. Because Matt Booty said there was an even earlier release
Yeah,
date
it had a
when the
significantly
acquisition.
earlier release date.
Yeah,
That's a good
absolutely,
point.
which there were rumors that it was targeting initially 2021. So if ZeniMax was never acquired, that game is either out in 2021 or out in 2022, and it's probably a lesser game because of it.
100%, Rand.
But because
Undoubtedly.
of Xbox, they're okay. We can take the hit, make the game as good as possible, as much time as you need, and now you finally see the result of that. So it's like, sure, while they weren't there from the initial onset and the pre-production, right? But they were there helping. Phil said they sent the ATG group to help out to maximize that game on consoles. That doesn't happen unless Microsoft owns them. So like, I get the idea of want to say it doesn't count, but Xbox helped this game in ways they probably should have helped Arcane with Redfall, and they didn't because it was just like we just need
that
to
team
get
was
the bird out the door.
They were busy.
Yeah, they're busy working on the real game, the one that matters.
Yeah. You know, I will say, and I agree with you 100% there. Then you also have to factor in outside of that, and then putting all the resources into let them get a full, another like years times of delay. So that's millions of dollars right there. They put the ATG team on it, but they also put a ton of people on there to help with the Q&A. So so a lot of fixes for bugs. So they I think Phil mentioned something like it's going to be the least bug filled Bethesda
Matt
game.
Booty mentioned that. Yeah, Matt.
He said by number, if they put it out today, it would have the lowest number of bugs that any Bethesda game has ever had.
Which is crazy because that still means it's going to have bugs.
Of course it is.
Look at the size of this. There's no way. That
I want to see planets smashing into planets, and I don't even care if it's.
I want to ask Todd. Hey, are there black holes in this game? And if so, can I drive my spaceship into that black hole? And what happens?
That's I didn't even think about that.
Because black holes are part of the universe. Are they there or not? Like, what's up?
Yeah, can we fly into the star? Like, can we fly into a sun or something like that? Yeah, let's see. How far can we take?
Where the hell is Everborn, by the way? What the hell is he doing?
I wouldn't recommend
He's
it.
playing
Seriously.
Sonic.
He fell into one of those black holes.
41 minutes into the show. Where are you at?
Trying to come up with conspiracy theories about everything. Get your ass in here.
It's like the only way to go into black holes is build one of them dick ships.
I'll jump in there when it's time to talk about
That's what it's
Sonic.
built for.
It gotta be that shape or it won't work.
We should probably move on to a new game. So, Dealer, what was one of your highlight games of the show?
The highlight was all those glorious Persona games. Fucking what the fuck? Like, get this shit off the stage. Like,
you didn't like that.
People were wondering why you didn't get more Forza, more Hellblade, more shit that we actually tune into the event to see. No offense to people who love the game, but look, I like I don't know, I like stupid little games that aren't really like the biggest thing, right? But I wouldn't sit there and say, put that on the stage over the fucking blockbuster game that you're buying the console for. Like, no, I wanted to see more Forza Motorsport. They had plenty to show, but they needed to make room for, some of these other games that just didn't make sense. It was a pace killer for me.
There he is. Look, we spoke him up. But to be fair, though, like, you are a big time Forza fan, though. So, so I think I can see why you're like, hey, I don't want to see this. Give me more.
No. Forza is the box. It's the thing pushing the box the hardest, by the time it comes out, is the most demanding game the box will see. Yeah. And for obvious reason. I mean, it looks incredible. And they have a lot to show on that. And they showed quite a bit a few days later, and they cut it out just so they could fit some other stuff in. I think they would have been better off showing, a miniaturized version of what they've showed over the past couple days.
Now,
but that's just me.
Let me add. Now, I hear you on that, but I'll say though, like, we've seen enough of Forza, like we know it's a known commodity. Like we know what we're going to get from Turn 10. So
we know what we're getting from Persona, though, right? Like, I mean, I'm just saying,
it's
like,
a remake. To be fair,
it's a remake. We already played the shit. It's even worse.
I never played.
Wow.
See, and it's on Xbox, so it's like his first time being here.
Yeah, ain't nobody on Xbox played it before.
Look, ain't nobody on Xbox played the best looking racing game of all time with 48 times boost in fidelity and physics and all kinds of good, awesome things. You guys should really try it out. You guys should really try it out.
Dealer, Dealer, Phil wanted everybody to see that we have 3 Atlas games on our stage. Exactly. We have no Japanese relationship.
He should have showed them the check and all the bribes they had to give him just to get them to give a fuck about Xbox fans.
This is what we paid the Yakuza. This is what we paid the government.
Everyone, tell them how strong the relationship between Sega and Xbox is. That's why I was there.
I could care less if they're friends or not. Sega, I'm not into Sega either. I feel like Xbox have enough resources now. They don't need to lean on publishers like that. But
partners like slander here, Everborn.
I just want to hear that new Kojima podcast.
Yeah. Man. So let me welcome you in. Everborn Saga, what's up, my brother? Welcome to the show. I know you were headed home, so we appreciate you joining us.
This
He
dude
still ain't
still
here.
ain't here.
Dick ships.
What in the world?
Oh man,
He
he's
still
not
ain't here. Who am you,
Yeah.
sucker?
Let me make sure, by the way, while I'm talking about him, that he actually has permission
Sure.
to speak.
I'm being exaggerative, by the way, just for fun.
No, obviously.
That would
Dick
be pretty
ships.
jacked if he's talking, but he can't be heard because I didn't set the stuff up properly.
But Dealer, can we get your actual highlight?
It like I said, well, my highlight is not seeing enough of the things I wanted to see.
That's not a highlight.
It is. It's a highlight because I don't forget that shit. I don't forget that I saw like more Hellblade a year ago, and it was actual like gameplay. You know, that there were some downsides to some of this stuff. But I guess the highlight, one of the standouts, is obviously Fable. Right? I can't believe nobody's really talked about it yet. But Fable is
only two people been able to talk about stuff. Dealer. What are you talking about?
not my fault. I keep you.
You went on a tirade about
It
something
was
else.
literally let's
Look,
Starfield and what's next, and you were like Persona, bitch.
Yeah, because it stopped all the good shit and like here's Persona again. But look, Fable looked amazing. Like, and that is the equivalent of one of those real-time cinematics where you walk right into it in God of War, right? That's basically what they showed. And they're calling it in-engine, right? It's a cutscene, basically, is part of what you saw.
Well, you got the guys, the devs online said it's actual gameplay, though.
Yeah. You're walking into that cutscene like Gears of War, like God of War, like that's what you're seeing. Halo Infinite, those were real-time cinematic cutscenes. So, yeah, I mean, that's what the game will look like. And I'm really, really interested to see what the world is going to look like.
Yeah, me too.
A little bit more of that.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, let me turn you up. If you could turn yourself up on your end, Everborn, you're really low.
I got you.
Okay.
How about now?
Much better. Can you
We
do it
good?
one more time?
One more time.
There you go. You good.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's here finally.
What's happening? What's happening?
What happened, Everborn?
Everything happened. I had to go to the office today because they got us going in 1 day a week now.
Oh, shit.
Traffic was ridiculous. And I came home and then Discord, Discord just took a shit. I don't know if I can curse here, but nothing was working.
You and Dylan
you can't
both
curse.
said the curse word, then asked and said, I don't know if I can do that. That's funny.
You asked for forgiveness instead of permission. That's how
There
that
you
works.
go. There you go.
I feel like
But
that
I'm
will
doing
get you in
better
trouble.
now. I'm on. Dealer, we haven't podcasted in like a year. So
Really?
trying
Been a
to fix
minute?
that.
See, I'm reuniting you guys. See that? See, it worked
I don't keep
out.
track of the times, but yeah, it's good to talk to you again. They were saying you're going to have some conspiracies for us when you come back. Is that true?
Oh, I always have some kind
Okay.
of conspiracies.
I had
have
your
a new
back
one,
the whole
but
time.
I appreciate that. Unlike Rand,
Yeah, he's a
know.
brick.
the
Yeah,
resident Sonic hater.
I mean, Sonic shit. What are you going to say?
See what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
shit. He just
And
hates
let's
I'm gonna
let's,
go
let's
with
not
this
hope.
one.
Let's Xbox and Sega just move on. We don't need them, right, Dealer?
Listen.
Listen,
Cancel
yeah,
the
you're
ABK deal. Go after Sega. That's what needs.
What? You got to inherit those
Well-
50 metas.
Rand, think about it this way: Microsoft is the only person who could probably go in and finally finish off Sonic.
Yeah, I'm actually
wow.
make it good. Yeah.
Like
I think even like finish them off.
I
like,
didn't know I was coming
take
into
him
a
out of there.
hostile environment.
dick ships.
Everboy, what have you been up to, brother? What have you been playing? I know you got your rod.
I've been the only thing I've played on the ROG Ally so far is Planet of Lana because I wanted to play Diablo on it, but I'm not gonna buy that game again for $70, and there's no cross buy.
I was
and
just
then
discussing that with somebody, with Hargeet, in fact, and I asked him about that and said, if I did get the ROG, which I'm trying to get, would I have to buy it over? And he was like, yeah, you probably would. You would definitely would. But he said, but wait, it'll come to Game Pass eventually. So there is that.
yeah, but see,
Here's
this is the weird thing. Like, so sure, Xbox first party games are cross play and cross save and cross buy and all that, but that doesn't encompass all of the games on there. So how does that work for, I just bought Street Fighter, can I play that there? Do I got to buy that again? Right. So
Yeah.
I mean,
this
it's
is
PC.
yeah. So I wish Xbox would make a proper handheld, or at least sort out these licensing issues so that if I buy a game, I bought a game and I can play it, because it works theoretically, but as soon as you get to a game where it doesn't work, the whole thing kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the crossplay thing is a blessing with Xbox, and it definitely needs to be extended out to third parties. I agree with you there.
Absolutely.
I've done the console streaming with mine, with the Razer Kishi and stuff like that. It's just dope, man. That's how I put in like 450 hours into Cyberpunk, just doing that at work and shit like that. I know I'm not supposed to be doing that while I'm at work, but we're not going to talk about that anyway.
I'm telling.
You picking up that PS5? You picking up that chopped in half PS5 controller with the screen on it?
What's that out? The controller with the what now?
The PS5 controller chopped in half with a little tablet screen. You getting that?
Oh no! I don't want that. No.
Come on, it's almost useless.
That thing got like 3 hours of play. Like it'll probably die when I turn the game on. It's immediately.
Crash.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what else I got though. That Starfield headphone and controller.
Yes, sir.
The controller came in today. The headphones came yesterday.
Now, I had some people saying they didn't like the headphones. How do you feel about them?
I didn't open them yet.
Oh, you didn't check them out?
I might not, because the Xbox headphones are actually garbage.
Yeah, they're not good at all. Then. They're not good
because it looks great. It looks fantastic.
They're good for $100. They're good for the price. They're good for $100, but they're much better headsets.
You're used to like 850s and shit. Yeah, I pass.
Yeah. I have two Xboxes, one in my office and one in my bedroom, and I have the Astro A50s for the bedroom, and I got the Steel series for the office.
Yeah, I get you, but then I would say, why buy them then? Like Danny said,
why buy a Steelbook? Why buy the $300?
Not $300.
I mean, you could have just spent that money and bought Diablo again.
True.
You
could be on level 20 sorcerer right now. You see.
This has been financial advice from Rand out there.
I mean, you should. Everybody should take financial advice from me.
What?
I agree.
That probably would have been better.
What?
Well, listen,
anyway,
Everborn says it's not tricking if you got it. Everborn got it. He got it to spend. So I hear you.
I just find it's the way everyone's like, I'm not buying another copy of Diablo, but I'm gonna buy a headset I'm never gonna use.
It's just because it's the principle of the matter with Diablo. Okay.
I got it 2 days ago. Hasn't opened the box.
Activision.
Yeah. So okay,
Listen, Diablo will be first party in 3 weeks. Don't worry about it.
There you go.
Or it'll be blocked forever.
It's first party right now.
There we go. So Everborn, I guess I'll go to you on it. We were just talking about Fable now, and so what were your thoughts on seeing Fable? And I know you made a few tweets about it and stuff. I'm sure you got.
Oh
a few
my
receipts.
God! Let me tell you something, Umbra. Like, to me, the reaction and the denial about the visuals in Fable made it my game of show, because even right now people are in my mentions like it's not that's CGI. Oh, it's not CGI? Well, it must be playing on a PC. Oh, it was captured on the Series X. Oh, that's just cinematics. Oh, that was actual combat animations. Oh, but what button were they pressing? We're like 36 hours later, and they just cannot fathom. And listen, I would understand if it was like Rare or even 343 these days, where you said, I don't believe that those are visuals. But what has Playground done to make anyone think that their visuals are not going to be stellar? And furthermore, the game is using Forza tech, right? An engine that even before this, remember the Forza Horizon 5 reveal where everybody thought you were looking at real life, and they're like, oh, here's a car driving past.
Yep.
So I don't understand this skepticism and denial about it, but I love it. Because if I tell you the amount of bookmarks that I did here.
Jeez. You got the receipts ready too?
You better have them shits copied though, because them bookmarks disappear. Some deleted,
Screenshot some of them.
Some of the Redfall tweets disappear real quick.
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
You might want to screenshot those. Yeah,
no. But seriously, a lot of people saw it, and honestly, like, it looks like amazing, but it doesn't look like it is impossible to do. It is just, I feel like a lot of people really feel like Xbox is not supposed to have graphics that good. I don't know.
That's a good point, actually. This is a new paradigm. Something I pointed out, I believe on Boom's podcast, that I said that struck me after I didn't really think about it until later, but we had this showcase, and to many of us it was an A or a B plus or a 9 out of 10, right? And we had all of that without Halo and Gears. I think that stands alone. Like, you have to give them credit for that, for putting on such a spectacular show without two of their biggest franchises. I think that says a lot, honestly, and honestly, it kind of vindicates Matt Booty. That's what we were talking about earlier, Dealer. We were going to get to the booty.
See what you did there.
Most of the games shown were Xbox Game Studios in that, in the main showcase, and so he was clearly doing his job. But a lot of us were like, "What is he doing? We're not seeing this or that." I think this show vindicated him.
Oh, he doesn't like. He's in charge of like keeping the projects together, make sure they launch, and they're supposed to be decent products, right? And that's what I said before. Like, we haven't played these things yet, so we can't really, we can't really say anything one way or the other. And I don't think it's his job to keep motherfuckers sane while we're waiting on E3 either. I think he's got his hands full, but at the end of the day, we haven't played any of these things yet. So hopefully they come out and they're all great and fantastic.
I have a specific trust for many of these devs, though. I think you see Obsidian pop up. I trust them. I know it's going to be good. I see NXile pop up with Clockwork Revolution. I trust them. I know it's going to be good. I see Starfield. I know it's Todd Howard and his A-team. I know it's going to be good. You know what I mean? So you see Turn 10. You know it's going to. So that's what I mean. Like, sure, we can't judge it, but we've played games long enough to know that these guys have a.
But what about Redfall?
Well,
it's under the same umbrella.
Not everybody care for Arcane.
You said that HCG group was over there at Starfield. It don't count.
Listen.
No, I'm just saying, it's not always under his control, right?
It's in ATG, so that's why. No, but look, it happens like every now and then. But what's the odds? It's just going to have stinker after stinker with these.
No, I think they're going to have great games. I think they're going to have great games. I'm just saying, like, you never know. We didn't expect Redfall to come out and literally fuck itself out of existence. Like, I haven't seen anything like that in a while from Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, listen. To be fair, you have plenty who are saying Redfall is their game of the year. They love
That's fine. They probably like mixing, like, I don't know, ketchup and cat litter together. I don't know. I can't control what they like.
Yeah. Hey. Well. Okay. Well, it's much love to you all who still love it.
Hey, big shout. I ain't hating. I'm just saying, like, y'all gotta like what they like, vice versa, right?
No, I feel you. I'm not one of them, but much love to those who still
Umbra loves it.
Enjoying Redfall. But Dirt, what were your thoughts, man? Like when you saw Fable pop up like that, did you think it was just all CGI or what in game? Like, what were your thoughts?
No, well, at first, I just thought it was a cutscene, like the close up of the guy. But then, like the more you watch the trailer, you say, "Hey, man, that's gameplay right there." When she threw the fireball, you saw some other stuff, and like that's a gameplay right there. I like what Evanborn Saga said. He said that this is playground games, man. This isn't like, this is Nintendo first party making the game looking like that. This is playground games, and everybody knows they're using the Forza engine. Mm-hmm. I remember, like he said, Forza Horizon 5, people was questioning, that's not in game. Yes, it was. So here we are. Anytime Xbox has a beautiful game like this, people they're always questioning what's going on. Now, like the narrative is the main character is ugly. I mean, what the hell is going on, man? Now she's all of a sudden ugly, but people found the face model. She's beautiful. It's a beautiful young lady.
She is.
So that's what the narrative is now. But that game looks incredible, and you can tell that the guy is a boss. I recently, what was it? God of War Ragnarok? You fight like a giant in that game, right? So you're fighting a giant. That looked like gameplay to me. That was gameplay, and I love that the dev from Playground is like, yeah, this is flattering that people think this isn't real. And there's guys that flat out say, yo, this is not real. They're lying to us. Xbox is lying to us. And I think that's
you know what's funny though, Griggity? The same people that will tell you because of the camera angles that were used, this is not gameplay. Those same people will play a Sony game full of QTE moments where you got to press X at the right time, and it's a cinematic angle like that. And they absolutely consider that gameplay, but this is hard to question. And again, I'm not saying we should take this all as gospel, but what is weird to me is how viciously these people are denying it. It's more skeptical that it doesn't feel like healthy skepticism. I think Dealer has healthy skepticism about it, which is let's play the game first.
But no, I think it's gonna be great. I think so.
Just to point out, by
I get
the
what
way,
you're saying, though.
that is the actress right there who they used to model. Her name is Lily Nickel.
Yeah.
She was posting about it on Twitter and everything like that, so I saw her.
She comes out on Twitter. This shit's fake. This ain't even real. He's the one who started it.
Shout out to KJ who showed her to me, and I saw her from there. But
did you guys see the Giant Bomb interview with Phil Spencer?
Yes, we did.
Where they were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were saying, "Oh, Fable wasn't gameplay," and Phil was like, "Why? Why would you think it wasn't?
Why do you
gameplay?"
think that wasn't gameplay?
Yeah.
He was like, "Why would you think?" Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, because I'm a dumb shit. I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It was
that
like,
guy was
oh,
like a hater. Hey, but like Everborn Saga said though, they seem so like upset about. They're angry, like they're like, no way, this is gameplay. They're like saying Xbox is not capable. Xbox first party studio is not capable of doing a game with graphics like this, and you're wrong. All of you POSs.
Yeah, they've always had some of the like Gears 5, for example, right? On Series X.
Beautiful
Like,
game.
yeah, I mean, they've always led the way in several areas. Like Sony dominate third person action adventure, right? That's just is what it is as of right now. And they have some very gorgeous games. But Microsoft have always been competitive in the visual field of pretty much every genre that they're in.
True.
I don't see why people don't see that.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Rand, what about you, brother? What were your
Absolutely.
thoughts when you saw Fable? Like, did you think it was the same thing too? Just CGI and it kind of.
Well, no, I mean, because like the disclaimer was it said in game.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay. We're saying because then the next game they showed, South of Midnight, said in engine. So it was like at least two different disclaimers. So I was like, that was looking pretty good. And it's like you got it's like I think the problem is when people talk about gameplay, they think about like, I want the camera directly behind the character. I want to see the HUD on screen. I wanted to make it seem like someone's actually playing it. Where it's like, yeah, that's gameplay. They just show it to you in a more cinematic flair to it because of the trailer. And I mean, the game's probably not coming out for another couple years anyways. So there's plenty of chances in the future down the road to actually see full-on gameplay. They just wanted to like, here's a trailer, here's the tone, here's what we're going for. And I think they succeeded immensely, you know, because Fable's going to be one of the pillars of Xbox moving forward. You know, it's got a huge budget, and it's probably after, I would say after Starfield launches, probably like the next biggest thing, right? Even though I would say personally I'm more excited for Hellblade 2, but I think Fable is just on another level in comparison to some of those other games. Like I think there's more going on there, and there's going to be more of a budget poured into it. And I mean, it's Playground Games. They're doing work on Forza tech. The engine's pretty damn incredible if you played the Forza games. And you know, if they nail this game, you got to give them the credit that they deserve, because you're going to be talking about a team that makes the best racing games, transitioning to also, we also make pretty goddamn good action RPGs, bringing back a classic franchise. You're talking about one of the best studios in gaming at that point, not just in Xbox, but like all of gaming.
It does help that they've acquired like Red Dead, Arkham talent, BioShock talent, like naturally, right? They didn't just go into this like idiots.
Yeah,
definitely a lot of talent there.
So I'm super looking forward to that whenever 2025 comes along, I guess. That's the other thing. It's like, it's 2 years from now, but I'm fine. I'm usually fine with announcements that are 2 years out. I feel like that's a good sort of cadence of like, all right, 2 years is a good thing. Yeah. It's just that we had to wait 3 years for them to even update the stuff that they announced. It's like, it was like more like you look back and it's like, man, Xbox had nothing. 2020.
You know those things that, you know, when Nintendo shows like a title card of a name of a game, and everyone's like,
Prime 6,
like the trailer for Fable that we got before, that's basically what that was, a fancy version of a fucking title card, right? They put a CGI trailer and then Fable. All right, we're working on it. That's all that was. It wasn't like any gameplay or anything really. This all that indicative of probably what you'll see for the most part. That's why you didn't see the behind the camera walking around, you know, doing all that gameplay, because they don't want to show you that shit that early. They don't want to show it. They don't want to show a game. They really don't want to show you gameplay more than once when it comes to the type of gameplay that Rand's talking about. They kind of want to show you that right before release if they can.
Hey, but you know, but like,
absolutely.
Can I say something right quick, Rand?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Then Xbox, they had to show their roadmap in 2020.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying they didn't. They couldn't, but they had to. It was just
Yeah.
we had a Series X coming out, and Xbox acquired all these teams, and we didn't know what was going on. So yeah, they had to make that decision. It's just then all the pandemic and everything happened. But the CGI trailers can be a little tricky, dealer, because look at the response to Avowed. There's a segment of people pissed about Avowed because the CGI trailer presented it as more of a dark fantasy, while the actual game, this new trailer, is kind of more of a colorful game. So I think
that was the original, color palette or something. I think that's what they were going for more so, and maybe they changed that up. But there's still time to go back, if you will, to make it a little darker. Randall,
you could.
There's still time.
Let me ask you guys a question. Because I didn't have an issue with the character models, and I think they still did the same sort of Ghostwire Tokyo kind of magic thing, which they should maybe call in these guys to come help with that.
Tango.
Yeah, but I feel like this is an issue of lighting. And because the character models seemed fine, I didn't get where people were saying it looks like Sea of Thieves. It does not. It was very colorful, and the lighting was pre-baked. And I wonder if they went for, and I don't know how much that would take, right? If they went for more realistic lighting, if that would solve what a lot of people the issues that people are having. I also feel like parts of the game will be dark, like what you saw.
Yeah, well, I think if you actually look at the trailer instead of because the people who are freaking out about this, I think, have mushrooms that are brightly colored, and everything else is pretty normal. There's that one shot where there's the bear who's got I don't know, he's covered in cysts or mushrooms or some nasty nothing, and that's lit really nicely. You know what I mean? So I think people are just trying to find reasons to be upset, if I'm honest.
Well, I think they're, I'm going to bitch at somebody because they're surprised by maybe something. Because let's be honest, if you watch I've seen it 1,000 times, put it in videos and all this stuff. If you watch it back, you see these big, dark, castle walls, gloomy sky, you kind of take it for a realistic kind of fantasy medieval take on an RPG. And then I know it's kind of like an oxymoron there, but when you see the gameplay, it reminds you a lot of Outer Worlds, really.
It did remind me of Outer Worlds. I will agree.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but people might have been a little surprised by that. And I could see that.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's from the team who made Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
And they just played Outer Worlds, so oh shit, I thought it was good, a little more realistic medieval, I don't fucking know.
Well, I agree though, right? The original trailer, even the voice acting in the original trailer, I felt like we were getting Game of Thrones, but what this looked like was Wheel of Time.
I don't think we've seen enough of it either. I think it could be very much like the original introduction.
For me, I'll say I thought the visuals looked perfectly fine. It didn't I think people went with the thought of it's going to be dark and all that and gritty, and then when they saw too much color, they were like, oh no, Care Bears or something. I don't know.
I want to go back to the 360 era when everything was
turn the color down to 50 on the TV.
I thought it was perfectly fine. I thought it looked really sharp. I liked what I saw with the magic and the sword play and everything like that, kicking somebody like Spartan, this is Sparta and all that. I liked it, man. I liked what I saw. I think that people just got fixated on what they wanted it to be, and now they're like, oh, it looks bad.
Oh shit.
Well, now I agree with you that I had no issues with the trailer in a vacuum, and I'm actually super excited for it because it's my kind of game. But based on the trailer they showed, I was expecting something different. I'm fine with what I got. I don't feel like I was downgraded, but I do feel like the tone that I was expecting and that expectation was set by the initial trailer is different. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's different.
No,
but I don't think that this gameplay walkthrough established a tone. It only showed us color. We didn't really hear anything about the overarching plot or how serious it's going to be. I mean, the only thing we got towards that was the Fishman or whatever talking about, you've got a terrifying power. You can either help people or you can hurt them or whatever nonsense he was saying. And that's just every fantasy RPG ever. So
yeah. Yeah, so guys, I do want to move forward because, again, I don't want to keep you all forever, and I do have things I have to do, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah, and we were going through 2 games. This podcast is screwed. We'll be here for another 2 hours.
I think we can count Avowed as a third. I think we covered that one pretty well.
That was Everborn's pick. Move on from me.
I will say though,
Sonic Superstars was my pick.
Nobody cares
that
about
wasn't
Sonic.
the show.
Sonic
That wasn't
Superstars.
part of this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine.
I bet you spin around in a little ball.
Yes.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Did he have his friends too?
Yes. Who's playing co-op with me on that game?
Which one of y'all's a furry?
Everborn.
Sounds like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
How quiet
yeah,
They got quiet, and I was like, "Hey, no,
Everborn.
somebody got to take the blame." But listen,
Sorry, Everborn.
yeah, all love Everborn, but still. So listen, so far, Dealer has given one, and the second one was Fable, Fable. It was given in.
I was Starfield dealer.
No, you made me do 2. I said Forza, and then I went to Fable.
Oh, I didn't hear the Forza part of it.
I didn't either.
I
heard
the
you
joking about.
We started with
and
Forza.
Persona. Yeah, that's all I heard.
Yeah, and then we got into Persona trash, and then Fable.
Okay, so I'll go
Gotcha.
to Rand. Rand, what was your if we can't name Starfield and Fable, what would you say was like one of the best games in the show for you?
For me, like the best new game that they showed from first party was Clockwork Revolution by InXile. Mainly because I am a sucker for BioShock vibes. So it seems like a BioShock steampunk game, but more importantly, I am a sucker for time travel. So when I saw this game, I've never really cared for InXile's other stuff, Wasteland 3 and things like that. But I'm like, okay, you're making a first-person shooter? Okay, you got my interest. Oh, it's steampunk? All right. Oh, it's kind of like BioShock? Like those trailers for BioShock Infinite and this game are very, very similar. And I'm like, oh, and we got time travel? I'm like, all right, I'm super interested in this.
I agree with you. By the way, did it seem to you like this is InXile? Who would have thought they would make something like this? Then it seemed to you a bit like something Arcane maybe should have made.
I don't know.
After the last game, I don't know.
Just kind of like looking at what they've made before, right? Like it seems like something more in line with what they would have made versus InXile.
Well, InXile's a studio that never had the funds to make the shit they actually wanted to make. I mean, ever really.
Yeah.
They've had to crowdfund a lot of their games, and I think this is probably the first thing. But they're like, damn it, they're taking too long to make the next BioShock. Let's do it.
Honestly, though.
And it looks cool.
Yeah.
What else do you like about it, Rand?
I mean, the time travel aspect, like the idea of they showed it on a basic level of like, oh, this is the world, but oh man, you changed something, now it's all dark, scary.
It's like Avowed.
Which Avowed trailer do you want this to look like?
Hopefully, there's more subtle things because that's like kind of beaten that you're over the head of like time travel, what could happen, and people always praise their writing, so I'm sure there'll be more subtle things in the game about like time travel stuff, but I mean, because other than that, like there wasn't really much. It was like you got a couple snippets of what looked like gameplay. The guns look cool. You have some sort of powers and the ability to change time and rewind stuff. So it kind of went from like I don't care what InXile's doing because I don't care about their games to oh my god, this is like shooting up my list. I'm really looking forward to it now. So it's kind of like compulsion too. Like it was like I played their other games. Like I don't care what they're doing. And there's like South America. I'm like, okay, you got my interest.
Yeah.
All right.
Cricket with a guitar. I'm in.
So the Clockwork Revolution. One thing I noticed, like it seems like it's very far along with all the stuff they showed you because you got to see actual in-game stuff. You got to see what really like is unmistakable for gameplay. And it seemed like they have that together. So I wonder how soon we can expect that, or if that because there was no year on
they
it.
didn't commit to. They didn't say 2024, so they're not committing to a year. So that should tell you all you need to know.
This is the project that convinced Xbox to basically acquire them, right? Like, okay, we're looking at this and we have high hopes. Yeah. Let's go ahead and buy them.
I thought it was their Twitter account.
I saw screenshots of
Twitter account is amazing.
I saw screenshots of this game in 2021, and let me tell you, it is vastly improved.
Yeah. Oh, you seen it behind us? Oh yeah, okay. You did mention that you saw it.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
It is vastly improved from what I saw in 2021.
I mean, I would hope so.
Those are always improved pre-alpha stuff.
What were you asking, Dirt? You were saying something? I didn't hear you.
Like Wasteland 3, that came out in what, 2019, right?
2020. It came out in 2020.
Okay, so this game is okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that game got delayed too, Wasteland. So
Yeah,
probably
it
was
did.
2019 initially.
Most likely.
See, dealer, by the way, we got this right here. Metaphor. Refantasio.
Yeah.
Like, get that out of here.
Look at that art style. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look
it
how
looks
pretty
good.
that is.
Yeah,
You mad because it's not brown and gray? I understand. That's fine.
we don't need brown and gray. We could use other colors.
You know, I do hear you. I know a lot of us on the Xbox side of things, we're more in tune to the Western side of things. But this right here is definitely a step in the right direction for Xbox not being excluded from, our Eastern brothers. So I like it, man. I like the direction they're going with that. We should have everything PlayStation gets as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody.
Yeah. Hey, I agree. I agree with that, by the way. Definitely. And we've only championed that. I'm just saying, I think it dragged the show down to be there in that fashion.
Yeah.
And, whatever.
Risky, you were there. Were you like screaming when you saw this? Like, it's metaphor. Like, what was your
That
feeling?
is what he sounds like.
Yeah. It's metaphor, mate.
So here's the thing. I don't know if you guys noticed. Sega's just getting real close out of all
Jesus
the other
Christ.
publishers.
What?
I'm just saying.
I knew
I'm
it.
just
Sega
saying.
is
the
doing
bankruptcy.
anything. No, it has
All
something to
they're
do with
putting
it. It's
all their
Atlas.
games in Game Pass. You're seeing Yakuza go there.
Gonna
You're
be
seeing
under
them
a
an
furball.
Atlas game.
Yakuza's
that
not
people-
in Game Pass. What are you talking about?
No, well, I'm saying
The old
it's
ones
at
are.
the show, right? You're seeing all the Persona games in Game Pass. There's launching new or announcing new games at the Xbox showcase, right? Where the PlayStation guys have to go and search and force the studio to tell them that it's actually coming to their platform.
Right.
I'm just saying we don't get that kind of love from Square.
That much is true.
So
I will say
so-
Namco, Bandai, and what's his name? The company Capcom have both been pretty friendly with Xbox.
but not
They always
like
have been.
Sega. though.
Bill has had to
Not
bribe
like Sega.
all these other companies, with who knows what, to get them to even acknowledge Xbox fans. Never forget.
Yeah, forget.
I mean, well, you
Y'all
said
kids.
Capcom, but Capcom has 2 new IPs that's debuting
That's
on
right.
on
That's
Xbox
right.
Game Pass.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's facts. See, that's what. That's part of my point of it.
Path of the Goddess, and what's the other one?
Yeah,
Exo Prime.
Exo
Oh,
Primal.
Exo Prime, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot that was Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. it's Capcom,
Even though it's got
man.
Street Fighter in it. So.
Yep.
That made it even better. You all don't sound
Okay.
excited for
Yeah.
Exo Prime. Okay. So what?
Well,
I'll play it.
Well, okay, so let's move forward. I think all of us kind of agree. Like Clockwork Revolution looks spectacular. It does look further on than most other things that were shown. Actually, I'm actually really excited for that. That was probably, if I had to say, probably top 3 for me.
Absolutely. For me, it's definitely top 3.
Yeah, that was shown for sure. Fable, it was Starfield, Fable. Then that I think is top 3.
That's my top 3 right there.
Yeah. So, Dirt, what was yours then? Because we got theirs. What was your game of the show outside of those that you would name?
Well,
That caught your
outside
eye?
of those, because mine was definitely Clockwork Revolution, I would have to say South of Midnight.
Yeah.
Listen, Compulsion, I really wanted to like We Happy Few. Just couldn't get into it. It had a lot of potential, just couldn't get into it.
Same.
Rarely played Contrast, but this game really did catch my attention. The southern vibe, even though it looks weird as hell, like the guy with the long black fingernails and playing a guitar. But the chick,
That's his guitar pick.
or like whatever hell it was, or what was it? I don't know what it was. So,
Well,
but
he
it has
was a
that.
No, it was a fingernail. He just
So,
grew it out like.
Yeah.
Right, but it has that animation. I don't know what you call that style of animation. It looks like it's running in 20 frames per second, but it looks great. That's like the Spider-Verse movies kind
Oh,
of has
yeah.
that
I know what you're talking
animation.
about.
Stop motion.
Yeah, stop motion. Yeah, it looks great, man. So I mean, we didn't learn a lot about the game. It said it was in engine. I can see that game looking similar to that. So yeah, I do want to know more about the game, of course, but from it's really my last choice because everybody else, you asked me last. So
Yeah.
but that game does look good though.
That's
I'm
true.
definitely interested about that game, and yeah, so I want to see what Compulsion has up their sleeve because they definitely have talent.
They do.
But now they're able to, they have Microsoft
Got
resources.
the
and
budget.
let's see what they do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They brought in a
Yeah.
lot of good people too. Like if you keep up with Idle Sloth and such and other people, they talk about all the people they're bringing in, and they hired a lot of quality people from other quality companies and devs or whatever. So I trust it'll
And
be
it's a
pretty good.
third-person action adventure game too. So that's
Yeah.
something.
That is something. It does.
Hopefully that game looks like that the trailer, like with the stop motion and stuff.
So.
Like,
Yeah.
It looks great.
that's one of the things where it's you can kind of get tricky with those type of trailers. Hopefully, it's representative of the game, because we do know from the Xbox Wire post it is a third-person action-adventure game. Set in the South. A lot of like Southern, folklore and things like that. And she's the main character, so it's definitely like Dirt was saying, like We Happy Few kind of not good, right? Contrast kind of not good either. And I was sitting there like, why did Phil buy them? Was it because they were available for a Coke and a ham sandwich? Like, hey, come on, we need more studios. But you see the talent on display, at least with regards to the visuals. This is impressive, and hopefully they can nail that when it comes to the gameplay portion of it. I did see that Matt Booty said they could have revealed it last year, but they wanted to hold it till where it was closer to release. And when he was talking about 2024 titles, with the 3 being right now that we know of, or actually 4, we know of Hellblade 2, Avowed, Towerborn, and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which apparently is a brand new game.
Right.
Maybe there's a chance Compulsion's game is next year if Matt's talking about showing it closer to release, but it didn't have a year, so maybe they're not too confident in it. But yeah, it's definitely a game that I'm way more interested in now after seeing at least kind of their vision for it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat still. If you all haven't done so, and I haven't asked much of you except for the $10 from everybody, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's a lot of you all in here. I think it's one of our highest numbers actually so far. So thank you all for coming through.
32 people here. Hit the like button,
Hey,
y'all.
hit
How many people we got up in here?
32.
Hit that like button. Let's go.
We should have 200 to at least 20, 30, 50 new subscribers. Come on now.
Exactly. Subscribe now. Show us
You
love.
get $10, consider it,
Send it $10.
No.
That won't hurt you,
That's fucked up.
I'm joking. No, but thank you all for being here. But okay, so we got 3 out of the way right now. Everborn, what would you say outside of the ones named was your game of the show? It can't be Sonic because it wasn't there.
Fine. God damn it. No. So we've gone through Fable, we've gone through Clockwork Revolution, okay. Towerborn looks amazing. And I don't know if you guys remember Castle Crashers.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know it's not like a big, AAA game, but as a Sonic fan, I think you guys can understand, like, I love these kind of AA games. It looks super fun. The combat looks really good. And I never play co-op. I mean, we all follow each other on Xbox. And I'm always, when you guys see me online, I'm not playing with anybody. But that I would actually go and break my solo gaming streak for, because it looks fantastic. So I really think we should look out for Towerborn, because it again, if you're into that kind of beat 'em up style game, and this feels like it's more than that, but I don't know. Yeah, the whole 33 online multiplayer thing didn't really do it for me. I know people said they liked it. I didn't care for that one, but Towerborn, there was something about it, man. It really grabbed my attention. And the only reason I'm not saying the Star Wars Outlaws, because they didn't show that game until Ubisoft Forward, and also it just really feels like Jedi Survivor if you were playing as a scoundrel.
By the way, seeing that, by the way, Riska said that was his thing. He jumped out of his seat when it popped up, by the way. They had this leaked list. So allegedly, the ESO team would be working on a Star Wars title, right? Maybe the Mandalorian. We've all heard it. I thought for a second when I heard the music, I'm like, whoa, is that it? Then I saw Massive, and I was like, okay, it's not it. So I was a little shocked by that. But I will say that they might have marketing for this then, right? More than likely.
If they does it automatically mean you have marketing because you showed it at your show?
Not automatically.
No, not always.
Yeah, most of the time, I would say maybe.
I would think most of the time.
For better or worse.
Now, it's funny you said that thing with Risk It, because I had a similar moment where when they showed Rare, I was like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna show Everwild? And then it was goddamn Sea of Thieves. That was my biggest letdown of the show.
I didn't think Everwild would be there though. Did any of you all think that?
No, I didn't, but they opened the show with Fable, which means the show could go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then they went right after that to Midnight, South of Midnight or whatever it is. Yeah. So the show had been so good up to that point. I was just like, anything could happen, right? Like I was that on the edge of my seat. So I was like, but once again, Sea of Thieves, Monkey Island. So the same way you guys felt when Senua didn't pull out a sword in that trailer, that's how I felt when I saw the Rare logo and it wasn't Everwild. Yeah. Again.
I kind of get you. I mean, they're retooling that though. I know they brought in
probably a good thing they didn't show that.
Yeah.
Right now, anyway.
Right now, yeah. Maybe next year. Maybe. You know, they have so much to do with that. I think because they're retooling it all the way around. I don't know what that game was supposed to be. Like none of us know what that game was supposed to be originally. And just going around,
they build stuff and you put frogs in your fish in your mouth or something.
I don't know.
It was weird.
Just roaming around.
I want it
like
to be a Zelda.
You like control
with
animals
graphics.
and build like an outpost, like fort type thingy.
Yeah,
and you put fish in your mouth.
That does not sound like
a
game I want to play. Fish simulator, fish swallower simulator. No,
pretty,
it's like,
pretty good.
What? Fish what?
Randall, he was super excited for it until it got pushed back. And
you were hyped for it, Rand?
Yeah, he was.
Fish simulator? Yeah.
Fish mouth.
It looked like a pretty Pokemon game or something to me. I don't know how else to explain it.
Pokemon game with guns?
They didn't even know what the fuck it was. That's why the dude was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Whatever they do with it, I'm sure it's going to end up being decent, but that wasn't it for me. Like hearing like, oh, we didn't know what we wanted to do with it. I'm like, what? Then why did you make it? How did you make that?
Yeah, then why did you show it?
We had so much freedom. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yep.
I mean, here's of course the game for the show for most people right here. I'm still blown away every time I see it. But okay, so we got through all you guys. Danny, what else is how did you want to frame this going for this? And we're already now like 1 hour and 30 minutes in, so
Neverborn's only been here for 5 minutes.
True.
That's true too. So the next thing that I wanted to know was just sort of what were your guys' thoughts on this first year fully properly without E3? How do you think everyone did? Like how would you stack these conferences up against each other or against previous years or
I mean, E3 hasn't really been around since 2019 though, so it's not like this isn't like any special unicorn because they didn't have one in 2020 or 2021 and last year's basically was non-existent.
Yeah. This is the first time we've gotten like PlayStation and Xbox and all of them this close together, except Nintendo, who decided to take their ball and go home or whatever.
I mean, E3 was special time, right? When you had like Xbox on Sundays and PlayStation on Mondays and everybody else. And I think that's sort of lost forever because there's no matter what Jeff is going to do, the video games and the way the marketing works and how long games take to make now, each time you do one of these shows, it's just going to be, all right, I need advertisers, so we're gonna have DoorDash, and like I'm hardly gonna get any of the big games, and I think it's sort of lost a lot of its luster, and I think it comes across because at the end of the day they're just streams, they're just a digital thing. Phil's there speaking to a camera. It feels completely different when you're watching and there's screaming people in the audience and you can feel the excitement there. And I think
had a live audience, but they weren't screaming.
Yeah, that's true. And Ubisoft dude didn't even remember the name of his own game. So
that's are you talking about the guy who kept saying what was it? Murder Fest?
No, it was Star Wars Outlook.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, instead of Star Wars Outcast.
Oh man.
So
it's an email simulator, that Star Wars game.
So I don't know, like I think that is lost forever and I don't think we're ever gonna get it back. And it's just gonna be these sort of marketing events that just don't have the same feeling as older E3s did, but you know, everything good's got to come to an end at some point, and unfortunately, that's E3's over. So never coming back.
I agree with Rand, and let me say something. You know, Rand is absolutely right because I have this thing where I will watch old E3s from the 360 PS3 generation, even going back to the Xbox and PS2 generation. Yeah, they're blurry as hell, but I'll still watch them. Yeah, like Rand said, we're never going back to those days, man. That live crowd, it was so fun, man. Just now I remember taking off of work in the Xbox One PS4 generation. I started to take off of work back when Xbox show was on Mondays still. Take off of work. That day was just huge. It's still fun now, but it's just not the same, man, because we're just waiting for like a video that's pre-recorded. Live, it just hits different. I don't know, you remember at E3 2013 when EA came on stage to show off Battlefield 4 and then it wouldn't start properly and people was, hey man, what the hell? Then it finally started. But even E3 2013 when PlayStation just totally it still hurts me to this day how they just totally destroy Xbox with the you can
this is how you share games.
Well, that wasn't strictly speaking in their showcase, but yeah.
I know, but I'm just talking about like E3 period. That was I think that was in the showcase. Did they show that? Well, it doesn't matter.
No, it was afterward.
Oh, okay. Well, even when Jack Trenton went on stage and saying, you can play used games and this and that and all that stuff was just crazy, man. So yeah, we'll never get those days again. PlayStation show was awful.
It was
this year.
Yeah.
And like Rand said, these games take so long to develop now.
At least
these shows might not
now.
Yeah, man, for these AAA games, these shows might not hit as hard as they did in the past. It's still cool to see new announcements. I thought Xbox did a good job this year, but those old E3 days, I think they're gone forever, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I think back to 2018, Dirt, and I think about how loud the audience pop was when they, Phil came out announcing all those studios they acquired.
Oh man, I watched that about 30 times. That little small clip. Yeah, man. Because I thought that was a great E3. I thought 2018 was a great E3.
It was
for Xbox. And when they said Ninja Theory, the crowd went crazy, bro.
So the only thing I would add to that is like when Hargeet was on Boom Show with us last night, the way he sounded is that like it's still there sort of in spirit with the experience that they had because all the executives were there. They got to see Phil, they got to hang out with Todd Howard and all Matt Booty and all these guys, and it still had that kinetic energy of being there between all the shows. So whether it was like I don't know if they also went to Summer Games Fest, but like the Fan Fest thing that they did, like they say they felt it. So maybe it's different for us who didn't go. But I know like Rand, I know you've been to you've actually been to E3. You've been up on stage. Dealer, I think you've been to the proper E3 a few times. It was always my thing and I wanted to go like in 2020, but then the world went to poop. We can't curse here, right? So
it's too late at this point. You may as well just
your monetization is shot. No, but seriously, like talking to the people that went to what was there, like Summer Games Fest and Fan Fest and all that, they still said they felt it. So maybe it's just for us watching at home, it's not the same to have it condensed. But I mean, we got a lot of stuff in the same week. So
I hear that. And I was talking to Hargeet earlier and he was saying like for them, they felt the show wasn't like paced as well to us.
Summer Game Fest?
No, this show here. But for us, watching it breezed through. Like literally, we were like in a watch party and we're like, wait, it's over? Like that's how well I thought it was paced personally. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I do think that Xbox will go back to live shows. Like E3 is for sure dead. I don't think it's coming back in any meaningful way. I think if it does, it'll just be like a PAX or something where people, it'll be just exclusively a fan event. I think that's the direction that's going. If it comes back at all, which honestly at this point, like I'd be sad about it, I guess, because I always wanted to go to E3 and I never got to. But like, I don't know. It at this point, it's no skin off my back. But I do think Xbox will go back to a live show, hopefully sooner rather than later, because we've heard on a couple different interviews actually this year from Phil Spencer specifically saying that he misses doing that. He didn't specifically say we're going to do it, but he doesn't like to commit to things too early if he doesn't have to. So I do think we'll start getting that back. PlayStation, I hope that they start doing more showcases just in general. I know people are asking for them to do more this year, which I think is a little bit of hopium, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think for me, this is the first E3 announcement period, whatever you want to call it, that felt like E3, even though E3 was dead. Because obviously, from my perspective, I'm not there, so I can't tell you if it feels different, because there is no show floor. Apparently, Jeff Keighley did something that he invited very specific media guests to, and apparently they had a great time. But for me, sitting at home, this was the first time in a couple years where I was like starting to get those feelings again, where it was like the Xbox show was great, PlayStation show wasn't, but it existed, so that's something we haven't had for a while. Capcom had a show, Ubisoft was there, like Devolver, like their whole thing is kind of gotten stale to me, if I'm being honest. But like just having all of these announcements this close together, now I can see that this feeling can exist without E3 having to be there, and so just let it die. Why not?
Xbox brought back that love and feeling. Is that what it was?
Honestly, it's been a minute, but yes.
So, Danny, what was the last? I will make this the last thing, and we'll get you guys review scores after that and get everybody out of here. But what was the last point?
Absolutely. My last question that I'd like to hear from everybody is, going forward from this Xbox showcase, what do you expect to see them doing, and what do you need to see them doing to either carry this momentum forward or sort of capitalize on whatever it is? Like, what do you want for their next steps to be?
Is that one clarification? Is that in terms of showcases or in terms of
just the business in general?
What they're doing? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go first for as an example. For me, the only thing that I need for them to do right now is to have this showcase not end up like last year's, right? I need for the things that they showed in this showcase to come out when they're supposed to and come out the way that they look like they should, right? I need these games to deliver on the promises that they made in this showcase. Going forward, right now, that's all I need from them. Like, they have shown me a roadmap that I feel confident in, that I feel like will sort of turn the conversation around, as long as these things start hitting at that proper, I mean, it's an overused word at this point, but that proper cadence that we've been waiting for. They've shown us that roadmap exists. Now I just need for them to actually
deliver,
pave that road.
Yeah. So Everborn, let's start with you. What would you say?
So to that end, right, I want the 4 games a year. I want a game, whether it's a game a quarter, maybe they'll double up in the fourth quarter or whatever. But I want those 4 big games, and they don't need to be AAA games, because Hi-Fi Rush is still one of my favorite games of this year. And I'm super excited for Towerfall. So if they have some things like that mixed in with the bigger AAAs, but at minimum, I think they need 2 AAA games a year. And then if it is a AA, it needs to be like top quality, like a Hi-Fi Rush. And I know this wasn't first party, but a Death's Door, if they had something that was that high quality, I would count that. But honestly, watching this show and looking at the 2024 roadmap, and even looking at this year, because I know on the internet we kind of look at every moment as if it's the only moment, but like, if we actually step back and think about this year, we started with Hi-Fi Rush. We got big things in Game Pass, but Hi-Fi Rush was January. March, we got Ghostwire. I know PlayStation had that, but Xbox got it in March. Then they did Minecraft Dungeons in April. Redfall pooped the bed. And now but no, and in September we're gonna get Starfield. In October we'll get Forza. So I think this year,
generation, absolutely
right. This year is the start of it. By the way, and in January we got High on Life, which was another great game. So I do think that they have begun to turn the corner. I think they need to keep this up. So this year it was like 5 or 6 games, depending on how you count it. And then next year, if we get at least 4, because watching this show, like for the first time in a long time, I was just like, I don't care what the other guys are doing, right? They might have a Final Fantasy or they might have a Spider-Man, and I'm gonna play Spider-Man. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying I don't care. If Sony locks down another third-party exclusive right now, I don't care. There's so much to play on Xbox, and as long as they can keep that promise of 4 high-quality games a year, and Xbox Game Studios and Xbox Game Publishing, for the last several years, they have not dropped anything that was less than like an 82. I know Redfall is Bethesda, and I know it's first party, but the Xbox Game Studios have been in the fold for longer, and I think ZeniMax or Bethesda still has some more integrating to do in terms of, you know, having the Sony. Well, I said the Sony ninjas. These are the Xbox ninjas, which happen to be run by Sarah Bond. But I think ZeniMax will just take a little bit longer to integrate, because all these great games that we're talking about right now that we also don't have yet, but we feel good about them from what they've shown. All those studios were bought 5 years ago. Playground 5 years ago. Obsidian 5 years ago. In Exile 5 years ago. Right? That's how long it took to get here, and those games aren't even out yet. So I know that Bethesda or ZeniMax is a fully functioning thing, but they do need to be integrated, and I expect them to hit that same quality level that we're seeing. So 4 games a year, that's what I'm looking at. I would love a direct in January to show us where Avowed is, and finally show us a deep dive on Hellblade Combat, which I think they're either going to do that at the Keeleys, or they'll just save it for a top of the year direct, where you have Towerborn, Avowed, Hellblade, and whatever their 4th game is for next year that they haven't announced yet.
Makes sense. So let me ask you now then, what would you give the score for this out of a 1 through 10? What would you give the show?
10 out of 10. It had everything I wanted and some surprises.
Okay.
And then you had the extended showcase, which gave you a deeper dive. This is exactly what I wanted. And even if you look at it in the context of everybody thought before the PlayStation showcase, because they hadn't showed anything 2 years, people were saying, even Xbox guys, Xbox is dead. Sony's gonna kill it. Right?
How to turn tables.
Right? And so
which Xbox guys were saying
they
there?
would do better.
There were Xbox guys saying.
Which ones? I need names.
Point them out.
No,
I'll tell you offline.
Point them out.
No, I know one.
Like,
I know
we'll
one.
tie their legs to one horse and tie their arms to the other.
So,
Rip him in half.
But really, everyone thought, there were people doing articles, Sony just has to show up.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that. Yeah,
and this is what happens when you count your eggs before they hatch. And again, everything had been building for this, and watching this show made me feel like it don't even matter if they get Activision or not. They're good.
I kind of agree with that, actually.
I'll just go because it's simple for me, right? It starts first and foremost with Starfield. Starfield literally has to deliver on the things that they promised and they showed. And that's where the beginning is. Because if Starfield can be that game, then everything else I sort of think falls in place, right? I think the reason why a lot of people are excited about this showcase in general is because you finally got to the point where the dominoes are stacked, right? You see the lineup, and it begins with Starfield, the biggest domino. And then it goes into Forza Motorsport and Hellblade 2 and Avowed and Towerborn, and then the Fables, and the South of Midnights, and all these sort of things. And even dominoes that haven't been placed yet, because we haven't been updated on them, like Perfect Dark and what's it working on. So it's like, I think people can finally see, oh yeah, and because I was lurking Dirt's stream earlier today. He's like, these POSs thought Xbox weren't making games, right? They literally thought they weren't doing anything.
Right.
And I think people realize, some of them, are scared to realize this, that, oh, wait a minute. Okay, things might change, and Xbox might actually do what we've all thought they were going to do. So for me, it begins with Starfield. Game's got to deliver. It can't be a bait and switch like Fallout 76.
Yep.
Because that would just be god awful. That would be a million times worse than what happened with Redfall, right? Because with the showcase, people forgot about Redfall. Like, everybody all of a sudden has collective amnesia about that game, and that Xbox didn't just drop a 50 Metacritic turd in the toilet,
I think
right?
we all wanted to forget about it. That's why.
Sure, we all did want to forget about it, but even people that are harsh on Xbox have forgotten about it, and they're looking at Starfield as like, this could be the moment. So it starts with Starfield. And then the next thing, because I want it to be over, close ABK. Either close ABK, or if you get blocked, leave and start Plan B or what have you. Like, I'm sure we're all sick of talking about it, but close that sucker so I can get all the salt that is going to, like,
crawl into a wood chipper than talk about it for another year.
Right. So it's like,
slowly
close that. And then, deliver on the things that you said. 4 games a year. If games need delays, they need delays, but I feel like Xbox, for the first time in quite a bit, is finally about to start to live up to their potentials and knock the dominoes down, and they're just going to keep on falling. So as a score, it depends on the day when I think about it. Like, I rated it like a B+, A- area. I always will say the live service stuff drags it down because I couldn't care less about Sea of Thieves or Elder Scrolls or Fallout 76. They're just like a waste of 9 minutes of time where you could show something else.
But when you say,
like,
though,
perfectly fine.
it had to be there, though, wouldn't you say it had to be there simply
because
of the
they're there for
behind it?
business purposes, and I get why they're there. But it doesn't matter. Like, this is
numbers,
me.
they'd be showing solitaire collection.
This is me being selfish. I'm just a selfish individual.
I hear you.
I'd rather have that 9 minutes, just like dealers, like, get this Persona shit out of here. He wants to see other things.
Right.
I'm like, get this live service stuff out of here because I don't care. I'd rather see other things, even though I understand why it's there. And Hellblade combat was disappointing. Like, I don't need to be sold on Hellblade. I know it's going to look good. I know the story is going to be great. I know the atmosphere is going to be, second to none. And the writing's incredible. And that clip gave me goosebumps. But that's not what I wanted to see from Hellblade.
Yeah.
So, have another developer direct early next year. Show off more gameplay of Avowed and especially Hellblade and stuff. And we're good to go, bro. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you say? You said a B+. What would that be in?
I said like
numbers?
B+, A-. Number wise, what is that? Like maybe an 8.5.
Okay.
Close, getting up to a 9.
All right. That's pretty good. Pretty good score. I think anything below an 8, I think it's just ridiculous. Honestly, anything below an 8 for me, it's like nah.
Dealer's probably like, that shit was a 5. You would have bad.
No, I gave it like a 7.8 maybe. And that's just because of the pacing and stuff. I remember back in the day, and you remember, the good old days when Usher was out there breakdancing on the stage.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst E3s of all time, by the way.
E3,
If you want to know what an
E3
actual
forgot
9
about
plus or
that.
10 is, go back 2 years and watch that one again.
that's E3 2012, by the way.
Yeah,
never
or
forget
2010, one of those two. Abysmally horrible.
I'm
One
gonna
of
say
those.
this, dealer. 10, 11, and 12 were all abysmal. It was all about Connect, bro. It was terrible.
And then and Don Matrix in the back with his bow cut, like they ain't seen shit yet. Wait till next year.
Ooh, wait till we show like Connect Sports 2. Wait till Usher come out here and shake his ass.
Connectables,
These
bro.
bitches are gonna think the Connect actually works. But look, if you want to know what a 9, 10 is, it's 2 years ago with that extended Stalker 2. So many games like that were big right now. What has come since? A lot of different circumstances. Ultimately, it was the showcase that was it was awesome. We were super hyped after that show, and we loved being like that, and we always loved that feeling. But this showcase was a little bit. It wasn't bad, but I've seen much better. Way better than Sony's dog shit. I mean, that's all some of you care about, right?
Yeah. Some. But for me, I actually,
Not talking about this panel specifically.
Of course. But I thought PlayStation would actually like go crazy, man. I mean, it's been
I was
2
nervous,
years.
bro.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like crazy. I'm like, Microsoft's going to have a battle on their hands.
Oh yeah.
And then we saw
I think
that.
we
it was
all
like-
thought that.
We all thought it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I was like, damn, what happened? So, especially with seeing some of the stuff appear on Summer Game Fest, it's like, why would you allow that?
Yeah, that made no sense.
And the Final Fantasy Rebirth,
Okay.
whatever, to appear there versus your show. That made no sense to me.
And I'll throw this out there as a third thing. Alan Wake 2 also showed way better at Summer Game Fest than
I
the
agree.
PlayStation show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And those
too.
were really the only 3 things that were at that showcase that I cared about.
Yeah,
I was surprised how bad that show was. Actually,
me too.
Summer Game Fest or PlayStation?
no, I'm talking about PlayStation. Like like Summer Game Fest was okay. The
PlayStation have had some of the most dog shit shows. Dirt, like you remember the flute guy?
No. Yes, they have. But
I
I'm
missed the
surprised.
flute guy.
After a 2-year hiatus, I'm surprised how bad that show was. That's all I'm saying. I was as a console war channel, I was kind of nervous.
Yeah,
I was nervous.
The pony's gonna be coming in here talking trash. I was like, damn. But after that show, I didn't see a soul in there. Now the pony came to talk.
You know what the best part though, Dirt? It was just seeing the reactions from so many well-known Hoove brothers of ours, seeing how they reacted. That was bliss right there.
Exposing themselves again with double standards, and the Resonator is the guy from Gears 1 was that was Jib Ryan's showcase, and it took out all the locusts, and they didn't show up at Dirt's show, and it was great.
Yeah,
for good reason. I'd be hiding too.
Right.
But for you, Dirt, what would you say? Like, I think Everborn, I think you kind of covered a lot of what you and Rand, I think, kind of covered what a lot of us would sentiments all of us would feel like anyway. I think that's the right mindset. I think. What would you say, Dirty? You had anything else to add to that thought, or
just about the show in general, like what I thought of the show?
What would you want to the direction for them to go? I believe the question was like the direction you would want Xbox to go going forward.
Yeah. What do you need to see from them going forward?
Well, I actually like this. Like this year, if they can show off a couple of new IPs. Even if they're 2 years out, like Rand said, it doesn't bother me if they're a couple years out. Show off a couple new IPs every year if they can. With some gameplay of games that's closer to being released. I would love that. I gave the show like a 9. Like most of you other guys, the only issue I had was maybe Hellblade 2 not showing more gameplay, for like combat gameplay, because we know the game is going to look incredible. We know the mocap is incredible and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to see a little bit more from Hellblade, but that's really the only issue I had with the show. I thought everything else was great, and it's moving forward. Xbox has so much content and development. I believe they will be able to, show off a couple new IPs every showcase, every June. Just my opinion, and that's what we want. Like we want updates on previously announced games. We want to see some new IPs, man, and not just that. It matters how the games show. Starfield showed incredible. Had people, like losing their mind. People actually say, "Hey, man, I saw like an article saying, hey, man, I'm selling my PS5 for Xbox," which is. Which is probably cap, but it was a good title for us Xbox guys.
It's a
so
just to get the clicks for sure.
Yeah, just for the clicks.
Yeah, absolutely. They saw those sandwiches right there, and they were like, "Oh yeah,
right."
Time to switch. I want to
so it is important if a game shows off well, because Avowed looked fine to me, but even this show, some people like Dilla didn't really care how it looked. Some of the other guys didn't care how it looked. Last night on Addict's show, he was really going hard on. I was like, hey man, calm down, killer. It wasn't that damn bad.
It's like there's not that much middle ground. Like a fucking hey, I don't care for it a ton, but I get it. Like it's either far left or right. Like freak out or fucking the fanboy for it.
So
So
one or the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so if Avowed was only one of the few games there, the show would have, it didn't show as well as people wanted it to. So I think that's the thing. Like have these games at the show, and we want them to show well. And but that's about it, man. But the future is bright for Xbox. I'm incredibly excited, man. After those down years for us, Xbox content creators, of course, Diller and like Rand is way bigger than me and everybody else, like besides Colt. But those are some tough years for us, and I'm happy to see that Xbox is finally showing some of the stuff they've been working on for years, man. And this isn't the only year. 2023 4 is going to be dope also, and then like moving forward.
Yeah, I got to give you guys love to manage your content the way you have with the down years that we have had, like I don't know what I would have talked about during that. It probably I'll have to be looking like one of these PlayStation creators and talking about PlayStation or something.
You're talking about the good shit that you know is coming, basically.
Yeah, it's
And
coming.
we're still talking about
Wait for E3. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would carry on.
At least now it's got a date.
No, I mean, you didn't really have to carry on because it wasn't a carry on. It's a hobby, and you're a fan of the brand, right? So you're just talking about what you're personally excited for, and that's how you manage it, I guess, without thinking about it.
Unless you want to talk about ABK, make ABK videos.
Then you
day
just stop making videos at all because it's so depressing.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, Infinite. Wait for E3 was my go-to.
What's it go-to?
Wait for E3.
Wait for E3, bitch.
Yeah, wait for E3.
I don't know how many times I got accused of saying this shit. Like, who the fuck is saying wait for E3? Turns out it's Dirt in the corner. Wait for E3.
Wearing a t-shirt that says wait for E3.
Dirt was the original person saying hold the line. See that?
Shit.
Yeah, but hey, so your score, Dirt, was like a 9 or an A, right?
Give it a 9.
And for me, it's the same. I thought it was a 9, and if I had to give it a score A, whatever, I say A minus. And of course, I think most of us agree, Hellblade not showing combat gameplay. It did make it like we didn't need to see her roaming around looking in the water and getting we didn't.
I didn't even.
See all that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't expect combat gameplay though. That's the thing. Like, there's a gray area here. I didn't expect combat gameplay. We've already seen combat gameplay, right? The last time, but it wasn't. Just because she wasn't doing backflips with nunchucks, like I don't know what kind of combat's in the game. I'm just saying we've already seen enough visuals.
I don't know if they had.
I'm sure she ties some rocks together. You know, she knows how to throw a spear. She'll figure
my mind.
Yeah, like
I said, people had expectations for some reason for some kind of new combat gameplay, and I just didn't expect that. But they didn't need to show the same visual stuff over and over and over, right?
Yeah, like for me though,
yeah,
I personally would have liked to have seen it, like because even when they showed that with the spear and we didn't really get. Because they did it like it was cinematic almost, so
it was
really
all real time gameplay.
See how they're going to handle it going forward. But other than that,
but wait a minute now. With that giant fight with the spears, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said it was in game, and if we're gonna give the people who doubt Fable was what the game is like, isn't that the same? I'm just saying.
I get it. I'm just saying, like I know it was real. I know it was real gameplay. I just wanted to actually see what the combat looks now compared to the first game. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
You throw spears now. That's it.
Yeah. Take a spear, bitch.
I mean, the first game was kind of a walking simulator, so maybe that's what this was going to be too.
Yeah.
There better be puzzles.
I hope
I'm
they
just
have
hoping we get some of that
way more puzzles.
I hope it's less
in
puzzles.
other games.
Yeah, same.
Puzzles were actually my least favorite part of the game, the first game. But anyway,
those staring puzzles. Yeah,
I didn't.
Line up.
Maybe she's gonna have a disobedient son that gets her into a bunch of trouble, and she's gonna keep calling him boy, and that's what people are looking for.
Boy,
that'll get her into the game.
Spends half the game whooping his ass.
Watch your arms, boy. You musty boy.
What do you think that giant crawling around was her son?
For some reason, her voice is going to be like Arthur off Red Dead. That's a bad boy.
Who put these fish hooks in our mouths?
I got a plan.
What?
Who put these shark hooks in our mouths?
Right. Anyway, hey, I want to thank you all for being here, and much love to the chat. If you all have not done so, hit the like button. Danny, did you give your score?
I don't think I gave a grade. No.
What was your grade?
But I think I'm in pretty much the same ballpark as everyone else. For me, and this might seem hyperbolic, but I'll explain. For me, I think it is a 10 out of 10 because it seems like a lot of the places that other people seem to have thought were bits that fell off for them, those were the parts that were for me. Like all the Persona stuff, all the Ichiban showing up for Yakuza 8, even Sea of Thieves, like all of that stuff was for me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So really, there's only like 2 or 3 things that they showed that I was not interested in, and it was basically just 33 Immortals, the Jasant, and the Elder Scrolls update, right? Yeah. Like those are pretty much the only things I can think of right now that I don't think I'll play. Everything else was 100% for me, and you can show a couple of things like that, like. Having Fallout 76 in there didn't bother me because within the first like 15 minutes of this showcase, I was on my feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that opening section leading up until I almost said James Bond, Sarah Bond, was so good. You know what I mean? That you can slip in a couple of these Fallout 76s and I'll be like, all right, fair enough, dude. Like, you earned it.
Yeah,
So I think for me specifically, it was a 10 out of 10.
That was one thing I said, and I know we're going, so I'll just make this like 30 seconds. That was one thing I said, like going into this show was, I think we are at a point where we just have to allow for like 5 minutes within a show to show their service games, because they have tens of millions of people playing these things, and it is an important audience, and they want that audience to feel like they are taking this seriously, because you want them to come back. Those are the hardcore of the hardcore that play those games in and out. I don't know why they do it. They look terrible to me, but we just have to allow for that. So as long as it doesn't take up too much of the show, there needs to be a block for the service game. So the Groundeds, the Sea of Thieves, the ESOs, and the Fallout 76s and the Minecrafts, those are just going to be at these shows. But it was a 2-hour show.
I might agree if it was new stuff, like a new service game. That's the thing with E3 is new announcements, and that's why it's like Christmas, right? Or for a reason. We didn't. Your mom don't take your toy she already gave you and fucking rewrap it and give it back to you at Christmas.
My mom did that a few times.
That might be why you don't mind that shit there. But I'm just saying, like, the rest of us want some new shit.
Hey, listen.
Look at you, they're getting new presents every Christmas.
Right, fancy, huh?
I finally started getting presents one year. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's called a gift.
No, I don't trust you. But yeah.
No, but listen, I hear what you all saying on that. I think you all gave some great points. I love hearing you guys' opinions on gaming and all of that. I want to thank you all for coming here and being here with us, man. Like 4 legends here, along with myself and Daniel. We're among greatness. We appreciate you guys. So
stop doing that.
No, it's true.
It's YouTube.
It's all of you guys. So listen, it's all love. Yeah.
I'm just a big fat guy sitting naked in my chair right now with my camera off.
He's the fat guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Who hates on Sonic for no reason.
Looking at the matches dealers got for me on Christian Tinder. So
yeah. All right. Well, I wasn't dead set on that one, but we can talk about that if you want.
God will forgive me. He created us naked.
We finally found him a match on Grindr.
That's funny.
But anyway.
So I'll start from the top down. Dealer, brother, thank you for being here. Where can folks find you? I got you guys by the information as far as Twitter. It's already in the description. But where can folks find you? Of course, we know where. But for those
Xbox Live mostly. I space dealer space I. And I told Umbra this, like, it messaged me there because like I didn't even see the Discord message till today.
Yeah.
And I mean it. Like, that's the easiest place to get a hold of me because the least people follow me there, and I actually keep up with the messages a lot more there. But you can also go to Dealer Gaming on YouTube and, of course, Twitter, where I tweet occasionally every month at Dealer_Gaming. Thanks for having us on, Umbra. You're on your way to having well, you're already there, but you got a fun show here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, see, I like how you said occasionally, like every once in a blue moon, you'll reply on Twitter.
Every Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm not sure who's next on the list of it, but I'll just go down from what it looks like on Discord. Everborn, thank you for joining us, however late it may have been. I'm joking. No, thank you. Seriously, you gave some great takes, brother. Where can folks find you at, and what would you be up to this Saturday?
The best place to find, I'm Everborn Saga everywhere. That's Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Also on Christian Tinder as Everborn Saga. No,
Christian Tinder, swipe left.
Is that what we're going?
What's your username on there?
So
Sonic
FarmersOnly.com.
But everbornsaga.com is the best place to find me, because that's where you can get these comics that we produce, and we got a big sale going on right now where you can get the entire collection, 6 chapters, over 300 pages, full color. It's drawn. It's a Western comic, but and it's like a Western sort of fantasy story, but it's drawn in a style like manga. Really good. I mean, you just go there, you won't be disappointed. And then on Saturdays, you can catch me on GCP. That's the Gaming Circle podcast with Kay Asante. I think most people here have been on that show, maybe except for Dealer. Dealer, have you joined us on that yet?
I don't know. You know how many shows I've done? All right.
I'm going to reach out to you on Xbox Live.
I don't know. Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, but Saturday's 10 o'clock GCP. That's on Kasante's channel.
Yeah.
And that's it, man.
9 o'clock
Everyone's
for us
talking
here in
that time.
Chicago, by the way. So dealer, get up early.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
I'm
you're
usually
good.
up. I'm usually up pretty early.
There you go. So he'll join you all one day.
I'm not.
Eventually. Yeah, Ray,
Yeah.
you're
I gotta
late.
set my alarm when
That's
he
Rand's
asks
way
me
of
to be
saying,
on.
don't ask me.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
9 a.m. I'm probably just going to bed. No, I've already done their show twice. I think.
I don't believe it.
It's true.
It's a lie.
Everborn. Everborn.
He has. We're trying to get him to come back too.
Yeah.
I think we had to move the
I
time
see.
just for Rand.
Oh,
Yeah,
Why did you do
Getting
that?
up at 9 a.m. you know.
Betray your time slot for Randall?
hey. That's
Randall's a little slut.
legends, you know, have you move your time slots. You know, it is what it
And
is.
we did all of that just for him to slander Sonic.
Yeah,
It's a
see?
terrible shit.
It's good when there just starts dissing.
Always will slander Sonic.
Dirt, my brother.
Oh man,
Who am you, sucker?
who am you?
You come straight out of a comic book, Jack. No, where can
Jack?
folks find you, brother? And thanks for coming on here. And
Oh man, thank you.
gracing
Listen, man,
us.
just invite me, man, with these guys on here. You know, it means a lot to me, man. I get a little
I feel
emotional
you.
because you know I do the console war shit, and people, hey man, those guys, those WBG, they talking shit all day, but you guys still rock out with me, man. I appreciate.
We
it.
all talk shit.
Yeah, but you know,
Absolutely.
I talk more than usual.
Oh shit.
But thank you for the invite, man. You know, tomorrow I'm on my boy Sean's show TTS, which means Talk That Shit Podcast, and believe me, that's what they do. We do. I listen at the end of the show. Sean will invite people from the chat on, and they are brutal. I
Bro,
tell you.
someone had sent me a thing where someone hated my guts.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
What did Sean
I
say
told
about
him-
it?
I
And
told him, I
it was
said, "Look,
funny
man,
because it was like, he sent me the link and I listened to it and I was like, oh, it's Others Inc. Yeah, okay. I
yeah,
closed it.
he hates
Yeah.
you. I was like, listen, man, Rand good.
That man despises me.
Yeah, I don't know why he hates you so much. So
Gotta tell this thing.
I told those guys, like, look, man, I'm cool with some of these guys, bro. We can't be letting y'all put on this platform to talk shit about them. And he's like, okay, whatever. But but anyway, man, we we have a lot of fun over there. And this Saturday, I'm on the homies post up show.
Oh nice.
Saturday at I believe he says 6 Eastern time.
State of
No,
Gaming.
7 Eastern time. Yeah, State of Gaming. So we're gonna do that. in
What
the
day
park.
does Post Up Show come on?
Man, he
Post
does
Up,
it
State of Gaming be
all
on like
damn week.
4 times a week,
Yeah.
all
I mean,
different
he's
hours.
consistency, man. He's consistency, man. He's
Yeah, I
always
called him like
switching
on
it
a
up.
Monday or something. Monday.
Yeah, he
I'm
be
like,
all
what is this?
types.
On Monday.
Yeah, I'm like, what day
Yeah.
are you on? I thought I asked you that
10:45
question.
p.m.
He
Yeah.
actually did one last night. Now he's doing another one Saturday. So
Yeah.
Post will be all over the place. But he's the homie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop by there. And then of course,
Another Shot Town
you know,
homie, by the way. Absolutely.
yeah, Shot Town. Hey man, my ex-wife is from Shot Town, man.
Yeah.
I hate her ass too.
We heard,
Oh.
we heard the X part, but it's all good. yeah. Yeah.
No, but they're here now. But anyway, yeah. Then of course, I do my little regular videos and
Yeah.
Monday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, WBG Xbox podcast. We have a good time over there. But thanks for the invite, man. It was
Man,
fun.
thank you for being here. Could you please tell the folks to hit the like button?
And hit that like button, please. Just hit the damn button, suckers.
Baby. Shit. Oh man.
What happened?
Damn, yeah. I can tell you listen to my videos,
all
man.
the time. I'm here to let rolling. I might not come in, but I'm always there. It's like
Thank you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
like with our next legendary guest with Rand. I might not be there to comment because he's there for like 18 hours. Him and Jazz now.
Man, just drop the video I gotta watch.
But,
Man.
but I'm
Yeah,
there.
just drop the
That's
video, man.
But I'm there. Rand, my
I remember
brother.
Billy used to drop videos. I remember
Trying
Billy.
to do my best.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, you and Jazz, I
Trying my
love
best.
hearing you guys. I love hearing all of you guys. I'm just being honest when I say this. Everborn, that includes you, brother. When I say that, I love hearing you guys' takes on things. So, Rand, my brother, what would you be up to, and where can folks find you?
What we got up to? We got Xbox 2 tomorrow. Two Xbox 2s in a week. We did a special show on Tuesday. We got a show tomorrow with some guests, which should be a lot of fun. So that should be a very entertaining time. And then,
Nice.
youtube.com/RandallThor19 and Twitter, where I tweet a little bit more often than Dealer, but not that more often.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Just a little bit more. Maybe like twice a week to Dealers, once a week.
Yeah.
No, mine's just a podcast post.
Wednesdays and
Yeah.
Fridays for you, right? You
Yeah.
post it.
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes.
And
But
Rand
and then to
actually
get on there to
checks
talk
his
about
DMs
how
twice a week.
Sony guys are toxic. That's what Rand does. He's like, these guys are out of control. I got to tweet about them.
They're out of control.
One of them had a mullet. He was crying.
Yeah. He looked like.
But thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a blast.
Man, it was great to have you, brother. I appreciate you. And I know I had all of you great, excellent, content creators all at once. But I still listen. I said I was going to try to aim for an hour and a half. It went a little bit beyond, but I still think we kept it pretty solid. It's only been 2 hours and now 10 minutes.
We did pretty good.
We did pretty good. See, yeah, you got to believe in me.
What happened?
Yeah,
Rapping, you gotta believe.
You gotta believe. Yeah, but listen, thank you guys for being here once again. Thank you everybody. I thank you everybody in the chat for being here, showing us love, and for everybody who subscribed, much love to you. Please come back and support us going forward. And we're going to try our best to deliver greatness like PlayStation to you all. Not the recent greatness, but past greatness.
Built from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. But we will see.
No,
you guys.
we're just going to bring you service games.
Well, Daniel McG, my brother, can you tell people where to find you? You almost signed off without giving us our sign out, but yeah. What can they find you? What will you be up to?
You can find me on Twitter at Daniel J. McG or at my personal YouTube channel of just Daniel McG. Or you can find me either here where you are now. You're in the right place. Surprise. Or at Xbox Factor Podcast over at Double Barrel Gaming every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Central, which is 12 Eastern. Had a great time with all of you today. Everborn, Dirk, always good. Dealer, Rand, it's good to know that there's something good that comes out of Chicago, because so far I didn't think there was anything.
Wait a minute, you were talking with me all these
That's
weeks.
Fucked up. I'm not even in Chicago.
Dealer not even in Chicago. He may be in Illinois. He ain't nowhere near Chicago.
I might be somewhere near a river or something.
Near the river.
If it's the
living
right river,
living under the bridge right now.
Listen.
But yeah, no, it was great getting to meet you guys. Hopefully we'll get to talk again soon.
Absolutely.
For sure. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And then, of course, you guys can find me on Twitter, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You'll find me either way. And
then everybody's podcasts.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Absolutely. And
who knows where you show up?
Actually, matter of fact, now that you say that, I actually will be on PTK Blam's show this Saturday. I believe it's 6:00 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure.
You don't know the time? You don't know the time?
I'm sure you'll be on one of Boom's shows, right?
I am. I'm on the Boom's
Also,
probably
this is a
Infinite.
fun fact. If anyone says Unreal Engine 5 3 times, Umbra will show up.
It's true.
In the flesh.
It's true. I
have to talk about the tessellation.
Yeah, right. Did
Sometimes
anybody
when we're
mention
setting up
Unreal?
the podcast, I'll say it just to get him around.
Yeah, it happens. I definitely pop up like eyeballs looking. But yeah, let's get out of here, guys. Much love, everybody. We'll see you later.
Bye.